All right, let's take a looky-loo here. Oh, and we are live. Stream settings. Stream URL. Let's see here. Is it working? Oh, that's stupid. Trying to get my link here. Okay. So I can tell everyone what I'm doing. Still not exactly sure. Oh, Resident Evil. Yeah, I'm going to check that out later. That is a game I really want. Being asked by one of my buddies, why am I streaming? Because I fucking want to. And view my channel. Yeah, I'm doing things on the side here. And view my channel. Yeah, I'm doing. Gonna put this right here. But first, I'm gonna go to the Twitter. I'm still trying to figure out how to do everything. So, my apologies. I need to have a regular streaming schedule if I'm going to be doing this. But here we go. Oh, wait. Gotta send this to everyone. All right. Let's take a gander here. First, we have Mr. Monroe.
I think most people online have opinions that don't actually act on. Ted, I mean, herein lies my entire fucking issue with the whole right wing is not allowed in goth. We need to protect the vulnerable from the conservatives and Republicans because they're violent. What people need to understand, and this is why I said in one of my previous videos that the left project, they think words and opinions are violence because to the leftists, their beliefs do make them violent. They do think they should be allowed to kill people for being MAGA or being ICE supporters, and they do. This is not me speculating. They do this. Not all of them do it, but all of them do support those who are violent against, you know, the establishment and stuff. The left are definitely the ones who are currently being the violent ones. This is why they assume it's like we can't let MAGA in here because they will kill a trans person if they see one. It's like, no, that's your ideology. That's how you behave when you see someone or something that you don't like. You become a frothing at the mouth, rabid psychopath that needs to murder someone. Pretty much every single conservative, especially if they're going to be a goth, they're just going to be like, oh, a trans person. Well, I don't agree with it, but we're all just hanging out. We're all just dancing. We're all just talking about music. And this is exactly what the projection is. They're like, we can't let MAGA in here because they will kill all the trans people in here. They'll see a gay person and shoot him. And it's like, no, that's you. That's what you do. You're projecting your personal feelings onto us, assuming we do the same. We don't. It affects the way that we vote. It affects the values that we have in society. It affects the kinds of things that we do personally in our lives, but it does not in any way instigate us to be violent for those who don't agree with it.
Give this guy a like and a follow because holy shit, you never expect somebody dressed like that to be that intelligent. It's something we don't see too often in this day and age. That level of intellect. Yet you see him with a paper white face. What is it we normally expect out of that? We normally expect communist ideology. We always expect something that is not that. But you look at the guy. If it was up to me, if I had access to money when I was like 16 years old, I would have been something akin to that. Wouldn't have done the makeup on the face, but you know. Anyways, next video. Of course, the Crassistins. ICE just shot another person, this time in North Minneapolis. Okay, so this is the aftermath. After they shot somebody, I believe. So I haven't actually watched this. We're all getting a first good look at this. But of course, Crassiston, it's not originally his Ukrainian-American journalist. Now, the alleged story with what's going on here is that the guy who the ICE agent shot, apparently he's doing fine, but apparently he was beating an ICE agent with a shovel. So that's the story there. All right, let me check how everything's doing. Okay. New York Times, breaking news, a federal agent shot an immigrant in the leg in Minneapolis. Federal officials said 1 week after ICE officer killed Renee Good in the city. And Homeland Security responded. This is despicably misleading. This despicably misleading headline is exactly why American people have completely lost faith in the mainstream media. This journalist knows the facts, was given the truth, and adamantly refuses to report it. Yeah, just like whenever we did the frame by frame of what happened with Renee Good. At 6:50, federal law enforcement officers were conducting a targeted traffic stop in Minneapolis of an illegal from Venezuela who was released into the country by Joe Biden in 2022. In an attempt to evade arrest, subject fled the scene in his vehicle and crashed into a parked car. The subject then fled on foot. Law enforcement officer caught up to the subject on foot, attempted to apprehend him, when the subject began to resist and violently assault the officer, supposedly with a shovel. While the subject and law enforcement were in a struggle on the ground, two subjects came out of the nearby apartment and attacked the law enforcement officer with a snow shovel and broom handle. As the officer was being ambushed and attacked by two individuals, the original subject got loose and began striking the officer with a shovel or broomstick. Fearing for his life and safety, he was being ambushed by three individuals, and the officer fired a defensive shot to defend his life. The subject was hit in the leg. I mean, so long as he doesn't get his femoral artery, he should be fine. Maybe walking a little bit funny. All three subjects ran back into the apartment, barricaded themselves inside. They attacked officer and subject are both in the hospital. Both attackers are in custody. Fucking good. I mean, this is literally FAFO. Fuck around, find out. And you know what? I should add a t-shirt there. You guys should probably mention he shot at him because he was being attacked with a shovel, don't you think? Yeah, I agree. You should mention these things. It's greatly misleading otherwise. You should tell the whole freaking story. But no, they don't ever do that because they don't want to actually sit down and think. Okay. You guys left some details out of this. I fixed this for you. You're welcome. Oh, Chaya. Attacked him with a shovel. Okay. So, I know a few of these guys. And I can't show the entire thing. I wish I had a live chat that goes over this here, but, I just don't know how to actually do that. We are done playing nice. If you have a problem with that, you can kick rocks. Rooster Report. I kind of know this guy. Talked to him on a few occasions, but Manny being Manny, had a lot of conversations with him. Don't know this guy. Don't know him. Don't know him. I'm gonna follow him anyways. Tommy for Trump. I know him. He's a cool guy. Iceman, cool guy. Patriot Shane, know him. Conspiratard, I've had a few conversations with him. Danny Rebel. I'm gonna follow him anyways. Cool guy. Haley Ground Zero, I've met her maybe twice. Amateur independent journalist. You know what? I'm curious. PDX, MAGA. Why don't I have my Cash App? Well, it's honestly the reason why I don't have my Cash App on here is because it has my actual government name. But let's play. First,
property that's memorial to the innocent woman.
What are you talking about?
Okay, Nicole, good.
She wasn't innocent. She fucking didn't follow a lawful order.
If you want to live, don't say those words ever fucking again. Those candles.
Those candles are in this public.
Wait a second.
If you want to live, don't say those words ever fucking again.
Talking about
if you want to live.
The bogey's hanging out.
Don't say those words ever fucking again.
Talking about candles. Those candles are in this public right of way, dumbass, and they're a trip hazard.
What are you gonna say? What are you gonna say?
That is Manny. Cool guy. I feel like if me and him drank together, we'd be getting into a lot of trouble.
Manny, this is my fucking town. Let's go. We're in Oregon. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay, yeah, so to avoid copyright issues, I can't play the video anymore. You know what? Hold on. Yeah, I can just turn off the volume. But yeah, they're knocking over the candles. Which, I mean, it seems like a dick move, but the opinion of Renee Good is why they have no fucks to give about this. That, and every single time the Patriots in Portland have made a shrine, the Antifa fuckers have decided to be assholes and fuck that shit up. Why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? Oh, we have difference of opinions? Well, they wouldn't fuck with your shrines if you didn't fuck with theirs. That's how I look at that. But yeah, look. And they're all lit too, so they're also a fire hazard. So, I mean, you see that. There's multiple... God damn, you're bright. It's like a MAGA Santa Claus. Ah, man. Manny's a good guy. But let us continue here. I can't do the rest because copyright. But yes, as we continue... Oh my god. Hold on. Let's just look back. Let's look back at this guy. Oh, wait. Wrong button. Look at this soy fuck. This fucking soy face right here. I wish he didn't put music over it. Why do people wear their hats like that, where it's like barely on and a strong wind will pull it off? Why do you do that? Kind of reminds me of the top of a condom. Something he probably never had to use. Doesn't look like a guy who gets laid. But yep, there's the big fat fucking Antifa Santa. Antifa Santa Claus. But like that's what that is. Antifa Santa. Okay. Views right now 5. All right, so the current goal is $150 tonight. Because I have bills to pay, otherwise I would just be doing this for fun. But yes, things have come up. Also, my book is coming out. My newest one, it's coming out on the 1st of February. Squash, squash, squash. Some nice kicks there. Okay. So, what else are we doing? So I was having a conversation with one of these guys, and the conversation went along the lines of, these guys get hungry when they're out there. So, I mean, if we just, put our food out there, that's one thing. However, the issue with that is that if you have somebody else order it and they don't know the name, you run the risk of them fucking up the food if they know where it's going and who it's going to. So, for security reasons, the issue is, how do we have our food not contaminable? That's the issue there. Keep the food from being able to be contaminated. So, that's what we're thinking on here, and I brought up the idea of a food truck to deliver food to the Patriots whenever that shit's going down. And I want to raise a little bit of money for that too. It's just I don't exactly know how to go about this. I want a plan in place before any money is to be going towards that particular issue. So, let's continue on. Breaking. Leftist protester claiming to be a veteran outside of the ICE facility in Minnesota says all ICE officers should be shot. This just happened live a couple hours ago. Let me see here. A DD2 14 Raider. Okay. So, 7:05 in the morning when this got put up.
And these guys are coming here disgracing this fucking building. I'm a veteran of 7 years. I've bled for this country. I've fought for this country, for these people here of Minnesota to come and fight these motherfuckers. And they're here. Needs to be, I'm sorry, they need to fucking be shot. They're disgracing this fucking country and what it fucking means. They hide behind their fucking masks like fucking pussies. We're out here in the middle of everything, showing ourselves, showing our Minnesota and our freedom. And they're here, bullshit.
Damn.
So take that. I'm sorry. They sprayed your daughter? Yes.
Resist fascism.
ISIS
doesn't know what it is.
And they sprayed my daughter and my wife, and they almost ran them off the fucking road.
Okay.
So that's another thing.
Yeah.
Fuck them, get them out of here. Our state representatives need to step up and fight for their fucking people like we are fighting. But they're too coward. They stay in their mansions and don't give a shit about us. And all they want is these fuckers just come in here and destroy this fucking state. So fuck it.
Damn.
Fuck ICE.
Damn.
Come here, take.
Okay, so the thing about that is I actually believe what he's saying. But I also believe that there's also information that we do not know that he's not giving us. So yeah, spraying the family. What did you do? Why were you suddenly a target of ICE spraying you down? Please explain that, sir. Though the state representatives, living in the mansions being assholes that way, yeah. That is a thing that I do not like, and well. Anyways, next video. We're done playing nice. If you have a problem with that, you can kick rocks.
Your friends are destroying my personal...
Okay, yeah, that was the video from before, but you know what? I kind of want to look at Fat Antifa Santa again.
Your friends are destroying my personal property that's memorial to the innocent woman.
What are you talking about?
Renee Nicole Good.
She wasn't innocent. She fucking didn't follow a lawful order.
If you want to live, don't say those words ever fucking again. That's
Talking about.
Candle.
You know, he started off nice, and you know the difference of opinion made him threaten this guy's life. Made him threaten Rooster's life. Antifa's current tactics involve using women to attack and agitate counter-protesters and independent journalists. And so, with this, along with that, I've also got information from guys that were down there, guys who watch these things. A lot of these guys are bringing their kids, bringing their children to the protests. Why are you bringing your kids to a protest when you can get gassed? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Because you're stupid, that's why. Anyways.
Back up! Back up! Back up! Yeah, but
I'm not sure Minnesota's a standard ground state. Oh, it's the soy fuck over here. Tough guy. Step the fuck back, bro.
Hey, you bitch fucking tease me, bitch! Pussy ass bitch, you! Pussy! Did you get this yet? Stay away from me! Get that fucking shit away from me right now!
You are a demon. Oh, those umbrellas are adorable. I mean, you look at the guy in the freaking respirator.
Back up! Back up! Back up!
I mean, wow. Wow. And you have the chick going, "Let's go, bitch." So this is the thing that's been happening. A lot of these Antifa protesters have been just, you know, taking the women, having them come out. What? Bubbles.
Get the fuck out of here!
Having them do all the attacks, and
What's that?
it's because, you know, these guys, the Patriots, I mean, they're not willing to hit women as much. We will fight you. You mean you'll throw the first punch, run away, and let your buddies take the fall?
You want some of this? No more peace! Fuck off!
You don't know what peace is, dumbass.
Why'd you chase me? Why'd you chase me?
Oh my god, she's got a choker. You know what that means? Do you know what that means? That's like a black belt for sucking dick. How much you want to bet she gets fucking tag teamed by the guys there?
Back off! Back the fuck off!
You just what the fuck kind of kifyafya is that shit?
He's like 70 years old under that mask. Back the fuck off!
Listen, you keep advancing on us.
Yeah. Back the fuck off! Get the fuck off!
Damn.
Right now!
You see it, they keep advancing. They keep advancing.
He's on my face! I'm retreating! I have the duty to retreat! And he's in my face, motherfucker! Okay? Fuck you!
I hate that duty to retreat. Okay, that topic of the duty to retreat, I hate that because that emboldens criminals. You have to run. They don't fear getting hurt anywhere near as much because they have to run. The people being attacked. Self-defense is not a thing in Minnesota. It's not a thing in California, and it's not a thing in Portland.
You wanna fuck around and find out? Fuck off! Get the fuck back!
Oh, man. That was actually kind of funny. Let's get a look at that again. Hold on. Look at him, look at him, look at him, look at him, look at him. Okay, that's actually kind of funny. Who is saying we rebuke the demon out of you?
Patriots don't call the police, bitch. Huh? Patriots don't call the police. Fuck you and fuck your little bitch that tased me. I got tased.
And we got it on video.
I did what to you? Excuse me. What did I do? What did I do to you? What?
Yeah, I can tell she likes getting double teamed. I have seen that physiognomy on many, many women. She has had many a dick inside of her. Anyways, next video. So, this just happened to me in Hillsborough. I talked to this guy. He uploaded this morning after it happened. Well, this afternoon. But yeah, I talked to this guy in the space where he talked about this event.
Fuck you, got you. Yeah, smile, bitch. Yeah, fuck you, got you. Got you, man.
Now, according to Freedom Hammer, the story was he had the prayer stuff and some Trump paraphernalia on his truck, the prayer hands and all that, and he did not take kindly to that. The guy who is throwing orange juice at him, who was good enough to stay off camera. So, let us continue. Now, temporary power, permanent consequences to all ICE agents when Trump's gone. So is your job and so is your immunity. This is just asking for violence. This is literally saying we're going to figure out who you are and we're going to dox you and then we're going to go to your house and do horrible things to you. That's all this is. This is an incitement to violence. And it's not very nice. A lot of us do not like this. This is why a lot of us are going out to these locations and doing these things. Do you see what I'm talking about here? Okay. Ooh, I got a message. 2 messages. Nah. All right. Oh, wrong button. I'm just going to repost my stream again. Alrighty then. I could say your side is reaping what it's sown for years right now. Enjoy the next 12 years at least. Of there being order and consequences for your side. Order and consequences? What the fuck are you talking about, my guy? This is a thinly veiled threat to law enforcement at FBI. Liberals are sick peep. Oh my god, it is a I do not want to see that. That's a drag queen dancing with a child. That is what that is. And it is disgusting. The left creates more... Wait, is that the same guy? Yep. The left creates more heroes like this. Wow. Okay. Don't let Trump cheat. Demand voter ID, proof of citizenship, paper ballot, in-person voting, same-day result. I love that. All right, a person wanted to be anon had sent me this in regards to witches and hexes. So there was a conversation in the space early in the morning where they were talking about the witches doing hex crap. Okay. So what is the conversation about them doing hexes? Well, anyways, yeah, she literally took photos of this with her phone in this video, so you know.
Tiny little evening, Witches of Portland. What are you doing on Friday night? You know, tiny little evening, also known as Samhain. The veil is going to be
She looks ancient, like she is just hyper stressed out all the fucking time.
Myself down at the ICE Detention Center in South Waterfront. I might be doing a little bit of ancestral work. So I'm going to call on y'all.
Ancestral work.
Energy work. ancestral magic, just alchemy in general, why don't you come on down to South Waterfront on Friday? We'll have a little salmon festival. We can let go of some ancestral rage. I might, you know, hex a little bit. I'm also going to try to have supplies that other people can.
That music is fucking
We're gonna
terrible.
have some bay leaves that we can write some intentions on. We can burn.
What is this music?
Feel free to bring your own supplies. We can share amongst each other. If you are going to bring burnables, please make sure you're doing so in a respectful manner. We are on native land, so let's allow our native people to burn close-practiced herbs. Be respectful.
What is wrong with this woman?
I'm going to try to also bring some packets of ramen noodles and some candy. So I know we're all really worried about this uncertain time, especially with the SNAP benefits potentially most likely being shut off. So yeah.
I'm okay with Snap getting cut off. I'm okay with that. Hex like me. What, is literally all of her content just her hexing people she doesn't like, thinking she gets power? I remember I dated a Wiccan for a while, and she said something along the lines of, like, all the magic that you do is, like, it comes back at you, like, 5 times fold or something like that. And it's 36, you look 40. But it's like, oh my god. The insanity here, it's ridiculous. Like, Harry Potter isn't real. But then again, some people will say that about my religion, so, you know. Okay, kudos, whatever. But it's like, whenever they hex people, they do it because they think it gives them power. They get this weird, holier-than-thou, I'm better than you attitude. Tiny intention candles from the Dollar Tree are awesome. Bring your own singing bowls if they are portable. What? Okay, I just don't get this. Please remember, base camp is gone, and so we need you to keep your items in a backpack or a wagon. A wagon! Okay. I gotta do a short on this later.
What have we become? Why are we here scrolling instead of getting out to the streets? I'm so serious, and I'm going to keep scrolling because honestly, nobody would join me if I got in the streets, would they? Because that's the thing, when we go to the streets, we go to the streets with our little plastic signs and we say, stop shooting people, arrest ICE. Do you think that's going to help a woman who just got shot? This is serious. This is no longer political debate online material. This is no longer wave your flag in the air in the streets material. This is Civil War, revolutionary bullshit, and I'm scared to say this on the internet because I know the government's watching me. What have we become? What?
She says we already surpassed the bad mustache man, yet, we still have freedom of press. You can still post things like this. The EU having a mental breakdown. Let me see here. Trump has not nationalized any of the companies, the corporations that work under the Department of Defense or any of the other things. Like the contractors. Now you always hear about the government, oh, the big spooky contractors. Yeah, he's not nationalized any of those, so you know. Okay. Now, let me see here. No one's actually being genocided. So whenever they say that, people are being genocided, who's being genocided? Oh, there's a trans genocide. That genocide happens because they do it to themselves, literally. So, yeah, the bitch be crazy. So when I'm done talking about the news cycle, I'm going to be talking about this. This. Porn addict boys kill girl 6 after she refuses to perform sex acts they saw online. Boo! This is from an account you muted. Oh, which one? Oh, that's why. Sophie Rain. Yeah, I had her muted for a reason. I don't like that thottery on my account. Warning, distressing content. 3 boys. I mean, the name here should be enough of a warning there. You don't really need to, you know, say trigger warning. 3 boys have been arrested on suspicion of killing a 6-year-old girl after she refused to perform acts on one of the boys had seen in a porno. A prawn. Let's look at the comments. Prostitutes and porn addicts, the expected demographic, mad as fuck in the replies that the destruction of society is being talked about. Less traffic women because parents are retarded. I said a bad word. And the government can't just ban prawn instead of trying to profit like pimps. Yeah, the problem with banning prawn is it's still going to be incredibly easy to get a hold of. I mean, you can send nudes via this wonderful device called a cell phone. And, you know, people will have an underground thing where they sell their nudes that way. Oh, Osmo! Yeah, so this person right here, Osmo, probably the most intelligent sex worker I've ever met. Well, she's not a sex worker anymore, but she's got a couple books. 2 times best-selling author, aka Chase, stock trader, philanthropist, fuck Antifa, great-granddaughter of Vlad the Impaler. Okay, I don't know about this last one. I honestly could see her saying that for fun. But yeah, she wrote this. No whores for hire. Molly Smash. And it is a wonderful book, and I suggest you guys read it. Why is it only got this? Fuck you guys. Fuck you guys. Fuck you guys. But yeah, this talks about her time doing things. I don't trust the ratings. Somebody got mad at her because she wouldn't fuck. Ah! And this guy is pleading for women to take over. I'm going to have some not so nice opinions here. But, here we go.
99.8% of our genetics with them. Women, it's time. We need you to take over. Everything across.
Being a male feminist does not get you laid. And if it does, it's pity sex. I just want you to know this, my guy, in case you were to ever see my response to you. And I feel bad for you.
Across the board. Men have been dominating the human species for 10 to 12,000 years.
It's literally naturally how that goes. But, I mean, women have power too. It's just... You know what? I'm not going to go on a giant drone about that. I want to finish the video.
No one asked them to. I don't think anyone took a vote on it. But the results? Terrible. Awful results with this experiment. Most people aren't aware that we have a close primate cousin called the bonobo. We share 99.8% of our genetics with them, just like chimpanzees. Chimps are a male-dominated species. They're violent, they wage war on neighboring groups, and they force females to mate with them through violence and aggression. Bonobos are a female-dominated primate species. Coalitions of female bonobos team up to keep aggressive males in check.
And the only reason why that's even possible in the first place is because that land that the bonobos are in, it's this very small land. Resources are plentiful. And they all have mommy issues.
They're hypersexual. That sounds fun. And
yeah.
Most importantly, I really want you to listen to this part so it sinks in. No one has ever observed a bonobo killing another bonobo. Ever. It's time for the experiment to end. Women, We need you to take over.
Okay, I'm gonna grok something real quick. Okay. Because I remember hearing about this. Throughout history, especially queens pregnant who ruled in their own right were surprisingly involved in wars. The data suggests that they were often more warlike than kings. States ruled by queens were about 27 to 39% more likely to engage in interstate wars than those ruled by kings. Let me just move myself out of here real quick. Hold on. You see what I'm looking at here? You see what I'm looking at? Here are some iconic examples of warrior queens who personally led or were deeply involved in military campaigns. Boudica. Okay, that one I totally get. I have no qualms against using Boudica as an example. Because her husband died, the Romans tried to screw her over. They R-worded her and I believe her daughters too. Yeah, her being mad, it's totally justified. I actually don't know who this is. Joan of Arc. Jeanne d'Arc. Yeah, but hold on. I'm going to save this because I'm going to make a video on this later. Now, let us continue. All right.
Wave bye.
What?
Say bye. Wave bye.
He cleans her apartment while she goes out to frat parties because he can't get it in. Boys, pour one out for our guy. Pour one out for our guy. Because you already know. You already know. She ain't his, it's just his turn. And I don't even think he's having his turn. But women like this, it's a big no-no-no. If she's going to go out to frat parties and things while you're expected to go out and clean her apartment, no. 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 Why would you do that to yourself? You could be spending the time you spent cleaning her apartment, cleaning yourself up and upping your game in some way, shape, or form, but holy shit. Look at him. Look at this guy. And yeah, she's cute, but she's nothing to write home about. I literally have seen like 5 of these working at gas stations in the past week. Happy Halloween. You know, he just looks sad. Everything about this guy just, you know, lacks enthusiasm. Oh, this one I watched. It was hilarious to me. This is Kyle, and he's Antifa. Kyle here is telling his fellow Minnesotans to use their castle doctrine, which is a thing that Minnesota does not have, when ICE knocks at their door.
Morning, Minnesota. My name's Kyle, and I'm Antifa, live from the heart of Minneapolis. I've been on the front lines since the start of this. I am the individual who called out that Nazi the day before they came and murdered Renee Good. We are at an inflection point here. This week is important. Over the course of the last 24 hours, an additional 1,500 or more ICE agents have been sent to Minnesota.
1,500 or
into
more.
hotels all over the city. And they have begun door-to-door campaigns in areas of our city, kicking in front doors, pointing long guns at people's faces.
Long guns.
Minnesota, we have castle doctrine. To
No, you
every
don't.
patriot out there, we will reject this at our doors. And to every armed citizen, you have a choice to make whether you allow this to stand in our community or not. We are the Iron Front. It is an ideology.
Look at this! Look at this fucking man! We have castle doctrine. I don't believe so. Hold on. Does Minnesota, did I spell that right? Have castle doctrine? It has a version. A version. So it's not quite that. Okay? To prevent the commission of a felony in the place of their abode, home, dwelling, more importantly, Minnesota courts have interpreted this to mean that there's no duty to retreat. So they have a version of it. But it doesn't have stand your ground. Okay. So, I'm half wrong. Regardless of which, that is not a good idea. That is not a cash money idea. Okay, so Kyle Wagner of Minneapolis. Tough guy and self-proclaimed Antifa. He is calling on his comrades to disarm, detain, identify, and potentially shoot agents. Kyle is a moron. Is that his freaking name on Instagram? Chaos Follows. He had to spell it with a K because it makes it sound all edgy and cool. I mean, look at this guy. Look at all the tattoos he's got. Yet I don't like. He's got the testosterone of a neutered cat. He's got a great view, though, if that's his house. Well, it's like, oh my god. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. We are faced with a moral obligations as citizens of this country. You're Antifa. You don't get to talk about being a citizen of this country. Believers in the Constitution and our rights enshrined within it. You, once again, are Antifa. You do not get to talk about the Constitution or our rights. ICE and all federal agents operating in Minnesota streets are illegitimate occupational forces. I wish I had cigarettes. I wish I had cigarettes. But I do not. Hold on, let me move myself over a little bit. They are trying to if you are armed, you witness an unlawful arrest, and you stand by without action, you are complicit. Oh, he is trying to shame you. Typical propaganda. They outnumber our police, and we are citizens. We are called as citizens to defend ourselves. They are trying to silence me. You act like you're such a big guy that they want to silence you. You're not Alex Jones. Shut the fuck up. And have been stalking me. No, that is just the drugs, my guy. Does he look like a sober individual? He looks like he's a connoisseur of amphetamines. I am unarmed. My only weapon is my fists and my voice. I need your support to protect my family from this cult. Like and comment to share my posts. You think he's trying to do the whole influencer thing? Together we can stop them. It's not enough to film them and scream and yell. If you are able-bodied, do not let ICE kidnap one more person off the streets. With group effort, by protecting each other, we can push them back to their hotels and keep them off our streets. Wow. Wow. Our boy is slow in the head. The Third Amendment says no quarter to troops, domestic or foreign. We are very strict about how military installations and troops exist on U.S. soil. This is not the military. This is a federal agency. Housing ICE on U.S. soil is a direct violation of the Third Amendment. And as we stand on Castle Doctrine. As a state, we must reject ICE and give no quarter. Identify and disarm them. Due process and the protection of our citizens from further harm will follow. 4th and 11th and 14th Amendments. Okay. I'm calling for a national effort to disarm, identify all ICE agents, detain anyone who resists. Citizens must march together and subdue these armed militants. Okay. So, let's look at the comments. Not only is he retarded for saying this, he has no grasp of the Third Amendment either. Nice previous eviction on his record, too. What a stand-up guy. Oh, they're going into his arrest records. So, the thing that I notice with a lot of these guys who do drag in their spare time, they always dress what they idealize women to be. This is him dressing up as his type. This is his type. This is what he's into. This is, well, like the kind of girls that he wants to be with. But guess what? They don't want to be with him. Which is why he's doing this dumb shit. I am Antifa. This guy has the testosterone levels of a hypogonadal dog. Oh, I got that same mic set right here. Yeah, like literally right here on my... I got the same mic as him. And the batteries are still good, too. I haven't used these things in a while. What is this? Okay. The look Antifa gets when they run into me at a protest. I actually don't know this guy. Okay, but yeah. I mean, I've seen my fair share of this. And I don't feel sorry for any of them. The U.S. Army in 1940 was self-proclaimed Antifa. So, yeah, that's a thing. When you're fighting the Italians, yeah, you're fighting actual fascists. When you're fighting the National Socialists, a.k.a. the Nazis, it's a bit different. Because National Socialists are not fascists. They have a few things in common, but no, they are not the same. Let's take a look here. What is The Traitors? That is trending. Oh. The Traitors UK. Oh, it's a TV show. I thought it was going to be something funny. The Middle East. We're going to take a gander at that real quick. Iran without Sharia law and religious police. Mostly secular before the Ayatollahs and the Socialists took over in 1979. And turned into a 7th century Islamic hellhole. So, yeah. I mean, this right here, I mean, these old images right here. This looks like a country that I would not want to fight. I mean, like, so much hope in this. And then suddenly, certain people come in. I mean, yeah, look at these guys. You want to throw down with those guys? King. Look at these women. Gorgeous. And you look at the women that's around now. Not gorgeous. So, yeah, we're done there. But, really, satellite images. Black Ghost B-2 stealth bomber disappeared from Diego Garcia base near Iran just a few hours ago. Heading unknown. Yeah. That's a big box of you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. When it comes to things like the B2, like top secret whatevers, I don't believe anyone whenever they talk about that, because how do you have access to any of that? You don't. The United States is rapidly redeploying the entire USS Abraham Lincoln Strike Carrier Group out of the South China Sea, steaming full speed ahead toward the Middle East as the U.S. prepares to launch major strikes on Iran. Oh, God. That is not what I want to see in the morning. But, you know what? What happens, happens. I'm going to go check some comments I got real quick. Oh. Oh. Okay. Trump will not have a good economy because we don't have to let him. I myself plan on paying all my bills and saving every penny beyond that. You mean these things that are no longer in production? I will not contribute to this economy in any other way. I will buy some clothes before he takes office and make sure I have everything I need. Money sitting in the bank is not actually sitting there. It is invested into the economy by the banks, thus stimulating Trump's economy. It's so sad that so many people don't have basic understanding of how the economy or banking. You know, let's do this again. That was not the same guy. That was somebody copying the last guy and then just pasting it. At least I don't think it was. Like, or maybe he changed his image. It's fucking Rorschach. I love that movie, The Watchmen. Read the comic too. All right. So, Tampon Tim. Let's see what he has to say.
Tonight I want to share another way you can help. Witness. Help us establish a record of exactly what's happening in our communities. You have an absolute right to peacefully film ICE agents as they conduct these activities. So carry your phone with you at all times. And if you see these ICE agents in your neighborhood, take out that phone and hit record. Help us create a database of the atrocities against Minnesotans, not just to establish a record for posterity, but to bank evidence for future prosecution. Tonight I want to share another way you can help. Witness. Help us.
You know, the ate up part about that, I agree with him. So, all the videos that came out with the Renee Good thing, in my opinion, exonerated the ICE agent. Why do I say that? Now, what would you think if you just heard this happen, maybe saw one or two pictures? Because, like, the stills that we saw, oh, they are damning looking. They make that agent look horrible. But the moment you actually watch the videos and watch it frame by frame, you see that the agent in question is in front of the vehicle when that vehicle decides it wants to zoom. When you see that bitch put on the accelerator. So yeah, I would agree with Tampon Tim here. Yeah, keep recording things. That's one of the reasons why a lot of these guys who are going off to the protests now, they are recording things. Oh. Comment report. Another trans terror suspect has been arrested and charged over Texas Prairieland Ice Facility terror attack in which an officer was shot in the neck. 7 members of the cell have been convicted so far. They've admitted to organizing around Antifa ideology. Samuel Lucy Felkels has a bond set at $10 million. All right, let's take a gander here. I'm going to move myself over here off to the side. And Johnson County, Texas, another trans Antifa and John Brown Gun Club associate with a history of militant direct action towards North Texas area has been arrested and charged over the investigation into the July 2025 ambush shooting of an ICE facility. Actually, I don't remember that event. Samuel Hubbard Power Focals, 23, of Weatherford. It's like, you had so much of your life ahead of you and you decided to do this shit. You dumb. You're going to be a prison sock, my guy. You're going to be a prison sock. And that makes me sad for you. Because you could have done so much with your life, yet you chose to be a sock. Okay. 2 counts of first-degree felony charges hindering prosecution of terrorism. He identifies himself as a woman named Lucy. The Johnson County District Attorney's Office alleges Focals directed his comrades in Antifa. Oh, so he was a big guy. Cell to delete encrypted signal communications, linking them to the July 4th attack in Prairieland ICE Detention Center in Alvarado. Alvarado Police Police Lieutenant Christopher Gross responded to the attack and pursued suspects on foot when he was shot in the neck. He survived. Liberal media is referring Focals as a woman. These are the people. Notice how, like, most of them have the same look in their eyes. Most of them have the same look in their eyes. Except for this one. This one looks like she's going to actually regret what happened. But she's still going to try and play victim. Oh, this one straight up just wants to fight who's ever taken the picture. My ex has those eyes. Sorry, just, having a PTSD moment over here. The suspected shooter and alleged ringleader, Benjamin Hanil Song, an Asian? Allegedly used an AR-15 style rifle equipped with a binary trigger. He allegedly hid in the forested area around the facility after the attack and was held by other members of his Antifa network to flee. It prompted an 11-day manhunt involving state and federal authorities before he was finally apprehended in a Dallas apartment. Well. Focals is not accused of participating in the ambush itself, but is allegedly became involved after assisting Antifa efforts to destroy evidence and evade law enforcement. He allegedly used the alias Cat Eggs. I was thinking it was like Kate GGS or like, nah, it's Cat Eggs. In the Signal chat room, all members had aliases. They're like Cat Eggs. That's just terrifying. Why is it always the thigh highs? How much you want to bet bro loves anime? How do I know this is a thing? It is literally an anime thing because thigh highs are a huge thing in anime. Now, I love anime, but I am not going to... No. During the manhunt, FBI agents executed a search warrant at a Dallas residence. Investigators said that was used by members of the group to plan the attack. Focals was present at the location. His mobile phone was seized, according to the complaint. The house on the 2400 block of 56th Street in the Oak Cliff Black neighborhood was used as a trans compound for members of a network. The trans co-defendants, Bradford, Megan Morris, and Cameron Arnold Autumn Hill, oh my god, also live there. Like they're all trans. It's weird. The house is owned by radical leftist Taylor Mullock. Records show that he has a trust fund registered to that property. He is not one of the legally charged defendants. Yet. One of Focal's messages cited by investigators instructed comrades to delete messages for everyone. Investigators say the deletions were intended to destroy evidence and hinder Song's apprehension as he moved around the Dallas area. My guy, what is wrong with you? Song was captured on July 15th in an apartment in North Dallas. Inside the residence, investigators found a Walther PPK 380 registered to Focal's father. Investigators allege Song and Focals were connected through ideological ties and shared membership in a far-left militia, the Socialist Rifle Association, an associate group of the SRA is the John Brown Gun Club. Guys, subscribe to this man. He always breaks the most insane things. Focals was previously involved in another violent Antifa direct action in Texas. In April 2023, he was part of an Antifa Elm Fork John Brown Gun Club direct action to attack conservative protesters of the so-called family-friendly drag show. What the fuck is a family-friendly drag show? His case of assault causing bodily injury is still open. I want to know what drugs this guy's on. Megan Grant, an Antifa member who was also arrested that day, was convicted at trial. Christopher Glut, the alleged ringleader of the direct action, was acquitted at his trial. Glut's legal victory had been championed by the terrorist group, the International Antifa Defense Fund. The victims of their violence in 2023 are currently suing them plus Benjamin Song in an ongoing civil case. There are now 19 total state and federal suspects in Prairieland shooting. Antifa groups have been fundraising for them. Focals is currently in custody. His bond is set at $10 million. Wow. That is just wild. Okay, I am back over here. But let's take a gander. I already reposted that, so brain dead. Oh my god. Kamikaze Karens are being ordered to die to dismantle white supremacy. What is this fucking clown show? Can somebody explain to me what this fucking clown show that is white supremacy that they're talking about? Because, you know, I go into a lot of these chats, and I mean a lot, and I've been in the white supremacist chats too, the actual white supremacist ones. Which is why I say that the Groypers have a civil war going on. Do we move on without Nikki Fuentes, or do we just... How do I put it? Or do we continue to have faith in him, even though he's changing his opinion on Das Juden? But, like, I've been in the actual white supremacist groups. I'm also in a bunch of communist groups. I'm also in a bunch of socialist groups. I'm in a bunch of far-left groups that want to do these things. And they should be glad that I'm not leaking any of their shit. And the reason why I'm not leaking any of their shit, well, that's for another video, but you know. Okay.
Karens are back.
Good for you. Good for you. Don't move.
Put your hands in your pocket. Get your hands in your pocket. You gotta move. Get out of the way.
I don't post.
And the media is drooling. Quote, this is what democracy looks like. Moms in cars, armed with nothing but iPhones and a clear view of right and wrong.
Hold on, let's get that
Pick
again.
up, babe. Kamikaze Karens are back.
The minivan militia.
Good for you. Don't move.
Put your hands in your pocket. Get your hands in your pocket. You gotta move. Get out of the way.
I don't post.
He was not dealing with her shit at all.
This is what democracy looks
I'm sorry,
like.
my autism.
And the media is drooling. Quote, this is what democracy looks like. Mom.
Get your hands in. You gotta move.
My autism is just spiking right now.
You gotta move. Get out of the way.
I don't post.
Get your hands in. You gotta move. Get out of the way.
I don't post.
And the media is drooling. Quote, this is what democracy looks like. Moms in cars, armed with nothing but iPhones and a clear view of right and wrong. The cavalry is here to save us, and she's driving a minivan.
She's driving a minivan.
If you love your mom, don't let her turn into an ICE stalker. Moms with minivans are training like a militia.
If my mom decided she wanted to stalk ICE,
First, you have to pass a battery of
I wouldn't feel bad for her.
You must hate men.
You know, one thing that hating men has trained me for is literally trained me for chasing ICE cars off of my street. 5 of them right now. Following them down the neighborhood, honking, blowing whistles, telling them
And everyone clapped.
all that rage that I have felt.
And everyone clapped.
Coming out. I have been trained for this moment.
Phase 2 gets a bit more physical. It's time to shred. Not the weight. We love women in all shapes and sizes. You need to shed your whiteness.
In order to dismantle white supremacy, we have to be willing to lose the benefits of whiteness. Means they kill us too. That's what that means. And it's time for some radical acceptance about that, guys. That's what it's going to take to dismantle white supremacy, is losing the benefits of the system. So we can't be so shocked as white people continue to die.
White women need to die to dismantle white supremacy? That's one way to do it. Step 3, body and mind. Push your body to the breaking point and let your body be a barrier.
There's times where I'm scared, but I'll still approach a vehicle. Like, it doesn't stop me or any of us from showing up, and actually not only showing up, but putting
You gotta have the dramatic music.
just like almost like
You gotta have the dramatic music.
Them trying to get vulnerable people who don't speak the language fluently.
And when you get thirsty, no water, especially not with ice. Instead, sip on a nice tall cup of F-ice cold brew. Sounds aggressive, right?
It's $6 for a freaking brew.
All love.
She died because she chose love and solidarity over fear, and we will make sure the world never forgets her name.
It's a tragedy she died, but love was not the cause of death. Women shouldn't be getting in between armed agents and foreign fugitives. It's like driving a car in front of a SWAT team serving a search warrant. Someone's going to get hurt. Women are not designed for violence or danger.
Oh,
These are
misogyny.
manhunts with guns and armored cars. And the illegals have nothing to lose. If they get caught, they know it's over. And these illegals have shown they will break the law, and they will hurt you. ICE agents are getting assaulted and rammed by illegals and now women. Women who are not professional drivers.
Oh, we're just tired of the Gestapo,
From what we've
which
seen,
is
they're clumsy
stupid.
and reckless and have no sense
It
of
is
danger.
stupid.
And all
Oh,
these politicians are basically trafficking.
skip a Steve.
Women are crossing state
message him.
lines, getting used and getting hurt. And Democrats are making money from it. They're fundraising off it. They're using women as human shields to hold the country hostage. Tampon just addressed the nation and said this.
You have an absolute right to peacefully film ICE agents as they conduct these activities. So carry your phone with you at all times. And if you see these ICE agents in your neighborhood, take out that phone and hit record. Help us create a database of the atrocities against Minnesotans. not just to establish a record for posterity, but to bank evidence for future prosecution.
Wow. Corolla, he's got a better idea.
They essentially create chaos and then say they don't want chaos. So it's essentially tons of chaos, saying we don't want chaos, and then saying, don't you want the chaos to stop? And I'm like, yeah, I'd like the chaos to stop, but the answer isn't abolish ICE. The answer is you keep your fat ass at home.
Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. That is just ridiculous. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, so this one...
Go back. Officers threw flashbangs and tear gas in my car and made my... Like, I got 6 kids in the car. Lord, my 6 months can't even breathe. My 2-year-old then flipped out the damn car. This was flipped over. My car filled with tear gas. I'm trying to pull my kids out the car. I'm telling the officer I need ambulance. It took him 5 fucking minutes. He's going back and forth with me, telling me to go back in there and call and tell them to come up Lindale. They can't even come up Lindale.
Were you participating in the protest?
I wasn't at all. I didn't care to be, not to say it like that, but I wasn't.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's right. I am saying I understand. I believe this guy with his story that he was just passing by, and this is going to make some people not so happy with ICE. And, well, everyone's on edge at the moment, and I'm not surprised that ICE did this. Not one bit. They probably thought that he was another protester doing something not so nice, and yeah, that's just how this happened. That's just how this went. And, well, obviously he's okay now. I mean, it's a terrible, terrible thing. This is bad PR. But I believe that, like, with all the chaos that's been going on, this confusion is what led to this. So, let us go. Let us continue. But I want to check something on my private side here for a moment. What the fuck? I have no idea who this guy is, but like on the side here I got tuxedo cats, carry 1911s, and eat booby omelets. I could think of like all the different memes that are going on with that. So, I'm not going to go into that. Okay. But this right here.
In Bloomington, an ICE agent was just caught trying to solicit sex from a minor. In Bloomington, an ICE agent was just caught trying to talk to young boys. He said, "It's okay, boys. I'm ICE." I can't wait to hear how y'all spin the narrative on this one. What's the excuse gonna be? It's the kids' fault. They was looking sexy.
I don't know why, just that last line just reminded me about how, like, you have all these hypocritical, holier-than-thou motherfuckers who, like, whenever they're in church, whenever, like, the pastors, whenever you have these specific holier-than-thou pastors that talk all about how being gay is a sin and how it's horrible and how it's the most evil thing ever, and then you find out, like, put $1 in the box for Jesus, and then you find out that they got caught getting their back blown out by a nefarious twink at a Motel 6 on the weekends after Mass. It's a common thing. Twitter admin. We used to be a proud nation. Yeah, and then we let guys like you have way too much power. But I am going to say Hassan earned it. Somewhat. If only his uncle didn't give him that job with the Young Turks. And JD Vance reposting low IQ streamers so that they can be his meat shield against the Connor eats pants. What? Vance is one ratio away from turning into the 4th page of The Art of War. What? What the fuck do you mean by that? Like, where's my copy of The Art of War? Because I know I got it in here somewhere. Huh. Where is it? Really, where is it? I need to clean out my office. Wonder how my streaming bitrate is. Okay. Wow, it's almost as though the thing is that obviously happened because it was recorded from multiple angles and analyzed by the whole world on a frame-by-frame basis actually happened. Amazing. Looking forward to seeing the next goalpost shift. You know, when the Roach King makes sense, things are not right in the world. So, I've actually talked to Enrico Tario once. My impression of the guy is that he's honest and... I like the guy, personally. I like him. Want to see how stupid the mainstream media is? They ran with this piece. They literally took an obviously satire tweet, and just published it. You're seeing it in real time. Enrico Tario, former leader of the Proud Boys, says he has become an ICE agent. Oh my god. And the worst part is we know that people are stupid enough to believe it. Let me just, do this real quick. Because I remember he posted something about this. Posting it on Facebook for all the leftist boomers. Picture me rolling. Telemundo takes the bait. It's a solid career. What you spending your sign-on bonus for? Like, if they allow it, if I was to work for ICE, I would spend my sign-on bonus for a new gun because they give you a SIG 320, and I am not a fan. But, okay, let's see if we can find it here. Warstream Arc Raiders. I've not played Arc Raiders yet. Okay, War Boys. I have a confession to make before this goes more public than it is. I'm sorry, I've had to keep this from you guys. My story is long-winded, so I'll throw it in the comments. Proud Boys leader Tario found on the leaked list of ICE officers. You know, this whole event right here is why I don't believe in any of it. And his response, I fucking wish I worked for ICE. A brother needs those 50K, and what a joy it'd be to target the nannies and lawn workers of liberals. Well, you want to really get deportation going? Hire the fucking Proud Boys. On a serious note, I've received a heavy influx of death threats. Since these R words decided to post this. Can't say the R word on YouTube. It makes me so mad. I've also received many media requests from mainstream outlets. They didn't even bother to look at the names listed. If they did, they'd see it's an order by last names, and mine isn't. You can't hate these people enough. They belong in prison. Huh. What if this is just a Photoshop? Well, let us continue. I was told that this is an obvious self-defense situation that cannot be resolved except by headshots.
Step back!
Wait. Is this Naptown? Because this looks oddly familiar. Pretty sure I know this street. I'm pretty sure that's Naptown. I mean, I could be wrong. They are peaceful people. Oh my god. What are you doing? You're not going to beat a vehicle. I mean, at this point, the ice guys are just being cruel. This is mean. This is probably the most cardio she's gotten in many years. But that is just cruel.
Sidewalk! Move back! Move back!
Wait a second.
Step back!
Okay, NYPD. Yeah, that's not that's not Nat Town. That's New York City. They've just got similar architecture. But there we go. And to the next video. Jesus Christ, these fucking Nazis really want a war. My guy, you don't know what a Nazi is.
Yep. Whoa! Whoa! Shooting serious munitions at us.
Serious. Flashbangs are not serious.
Yep, I'm right behind you.
And they'll rattle your head a little bit.
That really
but...
just came out of the blue. No one was really doing anything here. You think?
Except, wait, hold on.
Yep. Whoa! Whoa!
Looks like you're blocking
Shooting
a street, guys.
Munitions at us. Whoa!
I feel sorry for any guy who's just walking around.
That really just came out of the blue. No one was really doing anything here. You think?
They're moving you away.
There is some serious tear gas already in the air.
That's CS gas.
You see, are they arresting
ain't
someone
bad
there?
at all.
Yeah,
like
we
if you
got
like
somebody-
spicy
there's
foods,
one person
CS
down on
gas
the
ain't gonna do
ground.
nothing to you.
Um,
No one likes you.
No one is proud of you!
My
All of
brown
the
ass.
Federal officers are wearing gas masks, prepared for, I guess, more tear gas and pepper pellets. They have the guns in their hands. What is this like for you?
I just can't believe it. It's scared. It's frightening. It's terrorizing. We were just standing here.
You
We were
literally-
standing here talking. I mean, we were just standing here peacefully protesting.
Nothing. I mean, no one was going near, crossing the street.
No.
Seeing if I can
we're
buy
standing
CS
on the
gas.
sidewalk. Everybody was. Everybody. Get the fuck back!
If you, are you a veteran, ma'am?
Yes.
Are you okay?
This
Okay.
flashbang's really
Yeah,
hard.
no, my
wasn't
ears are still ringing.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
That they were doing to do that for no reason.
I'm looking at buying CS gas.
It is in America.
Why? Because
no.
I'm literally going to
It's
gas
America.
myself. That's the plan.
I served for 20 years. And then U.S. Navy.
Man. Well. Those look like regular run-of-the-mill cops. But yeah, here's Enrico Tario. Okay, I'm going to leave that right there while I look for whether or not you could buy CS gas. Look at all this, like, I'm now on a police page. Mason tear gas, impact pellets. It's illegal to own CS gas. No person shall purchase, possess, or use tear gas or tear weapons without having first issued a written permit by the or therefore by the chief of police. Most adults 18 years old or older may legally possess... Okay. Wait, what about the pellets? Because that's what I really need. Damn you, Grok. Because I remember when I did that in Basic, and yeah, it was hell for a whole 10 seconds. And yeah, it was not the best. Oh! For self-defense purposes. There's a very permissive rules regarding chemical irritant devices under Missouri revised statutes, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I guess I might be able to do that. I see pepper spray, CN or CS tear gas formulas. This applies to self-defense misuse. As an offense weapon can lead to assault and whatever charges. Okay. So, we have plans. We have plans. We have plans. We have plans. Plans within plans. Yeah, now if I can see if I could just buy it. So the CS gas pellets, I mean, there's a special way to actually cook the stuff. Can of pressed capsules. It's supposed to take like a frying pan and like boil water in it. So there's a whole thing there. But oh, CS gas capsules, can of 50. Proposition 65 warning. Okay, so I'm going to look this up, and I'm going to do some other things with it. And eventually, I'm going to do a video where I gas myself in my backyard in a tent to show you that it's not too horrible. Then again, because it's in a tent, it might just be that much worse. Far left riders smashed up and looted a DHS vehicle, handled documents they stole to the leftist streamers to read on air. Oh.
Is it live? Yeah. In the original shooting that happened here tonight, the ICE agent vehicles that were parked on the street in the shooting, they had to leave their cars behind because they got surrounded by protesters. One of the ICE agent vehicles got broken into, and I found this paperwork. It has a list with FBI operation info. It's got full names of FBI agents, phone numbers, emails. There's maps on where they're staying, where they're holding immigrants. There's hotel names in there. There's judges.
Well, this is a fuster clock.
This paperwork has people's full names and their emails. Operation posture. Operational posture. This is how they're supposed to stand and how they're supposed to handle protesters.
Of course
it's
going to get worse.
Of immigration targets. This is a map showing you where they're taking immigration targets and instructions on how to get into the building, on what they're supposed to do on booking.
Motherfuckers, you should have burned that.
I have a piece of paper for the guy whose vehicle it was. It's got his hotel booking information. They're taking guys from Wisconsin and bringing them in to help fight us. There's people staying at Wisconsin.
Because, oh my God, the evil
zone.
agents.
They're meeting up there, and then they're moving into Minneapolis. That one got ripped up, unfortunately.
That one got ripped up. Bro.
Information about the detention center.
I mean, at that point, like, it should have been legal to just start shooting.
Detention center, address, info.
So I'm genuinely curious.
These are just operation paperwork. This literally tells them information for FD 936. Request for national DNA database entry. This is how they're entering all of them into the database. Again, this was paperwork taken out of an ICE vehicle that was left behind from the first shooting tonight.
Shows the USMS booking information form, all the data that they should be gathering, and form, arrest information, date, housing, property, NCIC offense code. That's the form. What's the other document you have?
Okay, this is a hotel booking sheet. The officer whose car we raided was John Steimle. This is a hotel in Wisconsin that they're loading ICE agents up into before they send them into Minneapolis. It's got a Windham behind and got raided. And if you want even more proof, there were FBI badges. We have FBI badges.
Yeah. This don't look good.
Usually.
This look real bad.
Challenge coins, that's the correct word, yeah.
FBI ICE number 2, whatever else that says on it right there. These are challenge coins, whatever these all are. Look at all this stuff that was in there.
These challenge coins are items that police officers...
Agent's vehicle.
That law enforcement officers like to share amongst each other. They make special ones for different events, usually with really horrible jokes inside police officer law enforcement jokes.
With a skull on it, yeah. This one is eerie. That's scary.
There's MKEHSTF on the top. FBI's back, the Eagle, FBI with
challenge coins. You get a challenge coin for doing some cool shit.
The amount of coins this guy had, he's doing a lot of this shit.
These cost a pretty penny to make too. If they
Milwaukee division.
Oh my God! It's
Green
like Nazi
Bay, Claire,
badges.
Madison,
Oh my
Lacrosse.
God!
This is
Oh my
the
God!
Milwaukee division.
Yeah, this one is
Okay.
Green Bay, Claire, Madison, Lacrosse.
Yeah, so I just saw this on my phone. So.
Oh, what do you got?
I have paperwork.
Oh boy, what do you got?
I have paperwork from these vehicles with full FBI first, last names, phone numbers, emails, addresses.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It has how they.
Our boy is cooked here. Our boy is cooked.
Just the flashlight person.
Oh wow.
Oh
wow,
shit.
It has how.
Over here.
I have stuff for you to see.
Oh, what do you got?
I have paperwork.
Oh boy, what do you got?
I have.
Oh, like they act like they're doing some big op. No, you just ruined somebody's vehicle. This is not going to go well. Like, you guys have escalated this to a point where you don't need to be surprised if the Insurrection Act gets invoked because of what you've done. What the fuck is this? Huh. I have no idea what this is. Okay. But yeah, this is giant box no bueno. This is terrifying. The Dindu crew. Run that face everywhere. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, you are going to prison, ma'am. Oh my God. I can't believe you did that, Clara. Black Panthers affiliate are protecting illegals with guns against ICE and the police. I can't wait to see how you screw this up. I can't wait. How is this remotely okay? Well, right side rebel. It's like... Reposted. No. No. That always gets me. Like, it says that, like, reposting's not, no bueno. Okay. Oh. Broke into an ICE car and stole the materials and are doxing them. So, yeah. Gonna share this. Quote. Okay. Let's wait. Okay. But yeah, they're just trashing all his crap. That is not okay. That is no bueno. Oh. So, here's the thing. I don't want to listen to that stupid-ass music. Is that shit drawn on? First day of college, makeup what? Makeup and outfit. That is way too much. I mean, I appreciate the dedication, but, like, I don't see this person doing this every day. When you want to talk about a loud as fuck outfit, holy shit. But in regards to me responding to a post here, the beautiful ones from Mouse Utopia. Mouse Utopia was an experiment ran by a scientist in the 60s. And what he did was he took a whole bunch of mice, put them in a cage, and just, you know, fed them, cleaned the cage. The mice wanted for nothing. And the neurostructure of mice are very similar to that of humans. So I'm going to do a long video on it because it is something that needs to be talked about. However, there's one subsect of mice that was called the beautiful ones. And this guy reminds me of them. And what these were called were autistic mice. Because all they did was sit around and groom themselves all day. They didn't do anything that benefited my society. They just groomed themselves all day. This is what reminds me of the beautiful ones. Now, a lot of the times whenever you hear about these comparisons of the beautiful ones, it's always, oh, it's these guys that are trying to look smacks. I think people like this fall into that same category. We're human, so it's going to showcase itself in multiple different forms. It's going to show in just... Did he raid his grandma's jewelry? Or she? I can't tell. That is doing way too much. Like, what the fuck am I actually looking at here? But yes, this is a human example of the beautiful ones via Mouse Utopia. A human example. And that was another thing with, like, me not being able to tell. That's another Mouse Utopian thing. You saw the female mice becoming more masculine and the male mice becoming more feminine. And a lot of times all they did was fuck with no avail. Like, no anything to go along with it. Okay. Miss Mary followed you like two of my spot. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So, based on reports from the Minneapolis ICE incident, potential flaws, broken depends. By agents, possible gross negligence, mishandling of defense info, up to 10 years of prison. So the agents can get in trouble too. By possessors, unauthorized retention under... What the hell is that squiggly? Up to 10 years. Theft of government property, up to 10 years if value is less than 1K. Exact count unclear. Without investigation, consult legal experts. So no one's getting executed. That's fine. Alright, let us continue here. Black Panther, like, this is not the same Black Panthers as from before. These guys are a little bit more unhinged. Why? Because modern day politics. Okay. Okay. My buddy just got back to me. Anyways, we are now streaming to Scuba Steve.
I just wanted to, it's the first time, you know, being allowed to talk. It's, you know, I've listened a few times anonymously, but I appreciate it very much. And, you know, I thank you.
Hey, thank you for that story. We appreciate you coming into the space and sharing that.
Thank you very much.
Wait, did I just see icy fucking pee?
All right, Miss Moni, we'll go to you first.
All right.
And then we'll get to Hans.
I have a dear friend from the J6 community that slips around and catches me anonymously in spaces sometimes. And after I read that last article, that article about the money going through the airport there was 7 hours ago. And she sent me an updated report 6 hours ago. They had
Los Airport actually accords with how the Lucchese's did the Lufthansa heist in 1978.
Side with assault rifles and shot community, and we hold them accountable.
It's really
That's what's
interesting
gonna
how
happen
they actually did it
everywhere to make sure that they're safe. Because
having the chain of custody, essentially, of that money being controlled and infiltrated. So it's just not a surprise. Let's just be honest, it doesn't take a lot of words. We just got. We fell asleep at the switch. And the elite people.
They can't be taken seriously. They have ICP with them.
It's in millions of dollars out of the country. And so that just needs to be rectified. And we all know that it has to be rectified by going after the people who do it. And I just envision it. Like, I just saw Tim Walz's latest, and I was just shocked by it. Like, if that's not the definition of insurrection, which I think was intentionally used, but deliberately misused. We've talked a lot about how they play semantic games. And just as Tony mentioned, democracy as opposed to republic, they just have the goalpost moved. But the last thing I wanted to talk about, and I think it all, actually everything said prior to this kind of fits into this in a way. I read a very interesting post where you can delineate between real critical thinking people and large language models. And a lot of the left have these Marxist underpinnings of a large language model. What a large language model does is not really critically think. It just predicts based on the text it's trained with what text should come next. So everyone is Hitler, or everything is X. It's all the same. And what's really funny is they come out really quickly, and it's all a consistent message throughout the world that say, you know, it's wrong. It's not tailored to local circumstances at all. And just again, the identity of the protester. Just this crazy liberal chick is just nuts, right? Like they are just large language models. I think people have called them NPCs as well. They just are a breed. They aren't critically thinking, and let's be thankful they're only a relatively small percentage of people. And yes, some subset of that can be convinced and see the light, but there's some people who are just lost. And we just cannot solve for them at all. They just have to be ostracized. I think that's the only way. And this country has everything to be proud of. I have every duty to it. Like, everyone in here believes they do and has been undertaking in their own way. You see someone like Sri Tanadar, who's a pure charlatan, and just the most caricatured one too. Oh my God, he makes us all look bad. And you just can find a more awful manifestation of what that rot is. And they are deliberately using immigrant, people of color, and all that nonsense. Why? Because they're large language models. They're NPCs. They're not like people just looted us. 80% of them are on public assistance. They're sending money out of the country. They knew how to play the system.
and they're pretty not smart too, and we still let them get away with it. Why? Because the elites, some subset, got paid off. Yeah, there's social factors like guilt and other things, self-hatred, psychological problems, mental illnesses, but fundamentally, look where the cash is, and it's with them at the end of the day. And like, the last thing, and I'll land my plane, I'm really sad that I missed this observant soliloquy, as I guess it was, responding to this person. I'm sure I would have loved to hear it. He's a real one.
Don't worry, I'm gonna clip it. I don't care what he says about it. That was beautiful.
Very quickly, I would say it's very worthy of clipping. But I want to point out, because we did have the trucker in here, it brought a lot of listeners in that don't normally get to hear you guys. And I'm so glad they got to hear that. And we may not have changed that guy's mind, but there were some people that have been intrigued by him. I'm sure some people followed him in here, and the people followed the trucker wondering about him in here. And we've still got a whole lot of those listeners because you guys are quite interesting to listen to and quite intelligent fellas and ladies. So maybe we didn't change his mind, but a whole lot of people got to hear it that generally don't, and I'm happy for that.
Amen.
I do believe CNG was next.
So I would have loved some moose tifa, but there's a lot of hungry people in line, so I figured I'd be nice and let you guys eat. Now, he was saying that ICE shouldn't be in Minneapolis because there's illegals in other places. ICE is all over the place. There's just more hindrance in Portland and Minneapolis than anywhere else. So it looks like they're just there because there's more going on there. They're being hindered there. Yeah. So ICE is other places.
Well, and that's why I say what I said when God ordained that whole thing. Is we had Chad in here who is from Minnesota himself, and you can't say he's lying because he's got the accent for it. So he got to give testimony on his own state, and that's where it really lands. With you can't refute that. You'd be like, dude, I see it in my backyard. Like, there's no refuting that at all. And so that's why I say everything laid out exactly how it should have laid out. And you're right, Moni. Maybe we didn't change his mind. I think we did personally. That's just me. But there's a lot of people listening as well. And so
of course,
the way that went was it couldn't have went better in my opinion. But go ahead, Giga.
Okay, going back to Itz's comment about large language models and how they're really just copycatting everything. You know how a good amount of what they say is just fiddle-faddle word salad? That literally goes back to the days of the communists. Like, Marx was one of the guys who did this a lot. Like, this is literally something I wrote in my book. This is something that they do. It's fiddle-faddle word salad that is meant to make them sound intelligent when really it just means nothing. Every single time they say things like, oh, marginalized people, yeah, that has a meaning to it, but not whenever they say it because it's just been blasted into nothingness. It's the same thing whenever they say the word Nazis or fascism. They don't know what a fascist is. You know how many times I've asked people to define the word fascism, and not a single person who's ever responded other than to call me a fascist has actually given me the correct answer of fascism? Like, let me put it this way. They think the Nazis were fascist. The reality is that the Nazis were National Socialist, which had a few things in common, but they weren't fascist. Okay, rant over. But yeah, that's the thing that I think is important for us to understand. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're literally running completely off emotions. That's it. 100% off emotions. Okay, rant over.
Thank you, Giga. Who was next, Moni? Was it Rocco or Chad?
Well, let me interject
I'm gonna
for
go get me
just
a
a minute. I
cigarette.
see Shane Mekeland down there. Shane, I threw you a mic. If you want to come up and speak, I'd love for you to. I know this is your state that's kind of going crazy. And then Cindy had posted a couple of things in the pill. She's lost her voice, and she wanted me to mention them. I'm pulling them up right now. Okay. Mercado Media, an hour ago it was posted that he just let the stolen DHS documents, names, IDs, phone numbers, battle plans be read live on his stream. The poster is Kim Katie USA, and she says this is a felony level disclosure of federal law enforcement secrets, and she's asking for Elon to permanently ban his account. And then the other thing that I posted that was breaking earlier was when they broke into the vehicles, a weapon locker in a federal vehicle, and stole a rifle ammunition before fleeing. Nick Sorter posted that, and he said
Ooh,
he's
that's
captured
big, big
the
money.
thief's face and license plate on the getaway vehicle. So he reported that.
That
And
is huge,
then
huge money.
let's see.
Oh
I think it
shit.
was Rocco and then Chad.
Oh shit.
Can he
Oh
get
shit.
arrested for that?
Well,
Hold
it's
on, Brian.
just going
Literally
down.
watching it right now.
It's
I
just
mean,
going down.
Minneapolis don't have any laws, so I'm just asking.
Brian, you can ask when we call your hand. Go ahead, Rocco, Chad, then Brian.
Okay, there's no volume. Oh, my dumbass.
Now on to the more important part of the conversation I've been waiting to say. Stuba, you said more than once that you believe that God was in this room and very much present in the room while that was going on. I can absolutely verify that without a shadow of a doubt.
These guys have no idea how to break into a locker.
When I cut in and said maybe sometimes it's best that you cut bait, you were able to put an explanation on me that changed my mind about the whole situation. I sat here and listened a while longer, and then he said something that made me want to say something back. I put my hand up and waited, patiently waited. Next thought that went through my mind a little while later was, maybe it's best that I don't say anything. No more than 2 seconds after that, somebody took the mic from me and put me down. Then somebody else come up to take the space. Beautiful timing, whoever that was. I believe it's probably you, my sister Moni. Fact of the matter is, if God wasn't in here at that space, now a lot of people have heard me refer to myself as a berserker. Had I gotten to speak to him and the berserker showed up, so to speak, it might have stopped the fact that I truly believe, yeah, he came in here a fucking Democrat, liberal, and he left independent. I may be wrong too, Scuba, but there's no doubt in the fact that you weren't wrong when you said that God was in this space at that time, watching and listening to what was being said. Believe it. Of course, he's everywhere all the time. So, but there's certain times that you get his specific and direct attention. And it's when he feels he needs to be there. Life and death situations are usually one of them. So, thanks for giving me the mic and let me speak.
Thank you for that, Rocco. I firmly believe that. I am so deeply rooted in God is on my side that I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and I fear no evil, because that is what He told us, and so it needs to happen. And sometimes, people disagree, and we have disagreements, and it doesn't matter. I just had a feeling, and I knew, and I looked at the board, I looked at the people that were in this room, and I knew, I don't know, I knew that it was going to go differently than everybody expected it to go. And so, and it did. And that's where I trust God's plan when it comes to that stuff. I have really good intuition on that stuff. And thank you for the affirmation, Rocco. And honestly, I couldn't have done it without you, Moni, either. I couldn't have. And Carol Ann as my co-hosts, I couldn't have done it without you guys. And so I applaud you a million times for that. But yeah, let's go ahead and get to hand. Yeah, thank you, Observer.
You're absolutely right.
Let's get to hands.
You're absolutely right, Scuba, because like I said, you gave the responsibility to Moni, and I believe it was Moni, my sister Moni, put me down when she did, and it was right after I thought, maybe it's best I don't speak in this. So, again, thank you. Sorry.
Yes, thank you. Go ahead, Chad.
Well, Rocco there kind of said kind of what I was kind of gonna say. It's like, you know, because when he started talking, you know, like Scuba, yeah, you know, it's God. He worked his hand here, because as soon as he started talking, I came in, I jumped in, and I just fucking went off right away, and then I got off the mic. You know, I sat back, I thought, and everything, and then I came back and I apologized to you guys, and I apologized to him for cutting him off. It's just something in me that just said, you know, I need to do this. So right there is like coming from me is kind of like an act of God to get that out of me. But that's, you know, that just something like simple like that can actually change a person's opinion of stuff. You know, then of course I brought up about, you know, Muslims and all that and everything, but, you know, the conversation got more on that, but I didn't feel I should actually get into that conversation because I would have got into it too far, but I just got an idea into the mind to check it out and research. Well, like, you know, a lot of everybody that's on here a lot, you all know that I've read it and I've studied the Quran. I've read it and I've studied it and all that and everything. So I know
Why are we talking about
it.
this?
But yeah, so another thing I was gonna say, you know, besides on that, I wish, you know, like something I didn't get fully mentioned. I wish Disrespected Trucker was still on fully. I wish he wouldn't have dropped out when I was talking, because I would have told him if he ever goes back to Wilmer, let me know. And if he needs backup help, I got plenty of acquaintances and friends in Wilmer that would have just dropped whatever they're doing. They would have went and frickin' backed him up and helped them out at any time, any situation. So if anybody goes to Wilmer and you got yourself in a situation, get a hold of me and I'll have backup there for you. You know, another thing I was going to say, well,
they are organized.
Because I was going to bring up about, you know, Nick's post about how they stole the guns and all the information out of the cars and everything. You know, so, but I just had to throw a few cents in there. I'm going to leave it at that and hear what the next one has to say.
Thank you for that, Chad. Yeah, and you know what? Honestly, I'll be honest. I'm transparent. I kind of question letting you speak again after that, but something in my heart told me that you needed to speak, and that was God. I promise you that, and you did it wonderfully.
I swear they don't talk about God all the time.
I think you were probably one of the people that reached him the most, because when he talked about Minneapolis and Minnesota, that's your home.
Can I interrupt you, Scuba? I don't know if it's me or you, but your mic, for me, your mic is very broken up. I'm sorry if I interrupted you.
Yeah, you are breaking up just a little bit, Scuba.
Okay, hold on. I'll switch some things up. Go ahead to the hand.
All right, we've got Brian, Brat, and Observant.
Oh, hey, Money. If you guys can check out Andrew Mercado, the criminal of Mercado, just went private. His both accounts went private. And so I was going to ask Money, you said that he committed a crime and he can be arrested.
I read a post, Brian. That's not my comment. I was reading a post and I quoted who it was from.
Oh, I'll just grok it for you.
Shane might be able to help us out with that. He's taking a mic.
Now, one thing for school. Listen, you said they were talking about yesterday that in the Portland facility, Antifa is leaving some candles. And when people like destroy those candles, kind of like break their vibe. So that means that might be a ritual, some type of witchcraft. Like, can you like specify on that? I'm just curious, you know.
Scuba might be resetting his mics at the moment, but they've got a thing down there, Brian.
Yeah.
They've got a little circle over by that trolley station that they've kept flowers on for a long time, and there's been recordings of it. They had the all-seeing eye chalked in at the middle of it at one point, and then up and down the streets the other
Yeah.
night of that big protest after the shooting, they had lined those little battery candles up and down the street, and some folks were not happy that they got kicked out of the way, but they're claiming ground that's they can't take the whole street over, you know.
I mean, like I said, I've been trying to get up there, and I'm not playing or joking, but if I get up there, I'll take this. We taking it back from Antifa, you know. We gotta bring order back to Portland, you know, and that's the thing, you know. Like if we gotta take action, we're gonna have to take action, you know, because we cannot let all those thugs like run the streets, you know.
Thank you, Brian. Go ahead, Brett.
So I've been looking at people's responses to um, the protesters that broke into an ICE vehicle and stole documentation, firearms, destroyed government property. Um, they really screwed up by doing that. And that is because, I mean, if they thought things were bad now, um, it looks like this is clear cut at this point. They've broken laws that is going to allow the FBI to look even deeper into this, the ATF. So things are definitely going to ramp up.
Oh yeah, totally.
And it gives them the ability
And
to
another guy got
search.
shot this weekend.
They have it's
I'm gonna go get food.
warranted
I'll
for
be
them to do
back.
this. So let's think about cell phone towers, for example. They're going to be able to find everyone that was in that area via cell phone. I mean, if you think it's bad, if they think it's bad now, it's going to be really bad. After what they did tonight, this opens up the door for a lot more federal agents to be involved down there. So they just made it worse on themselves. And I guarantee you, when it comes to government property, especially weapons, this is going to be taken very seriously. We could have the ATF involved at this point, and the FBI was just there investigating the Renee Good situation. Now we're looking at protesters. They have to figure out which protesters are spreading around this information and whatever. So they've opened themselves up to basically a warrant to be, or what is the word? What is the word? Justification for searches, more raids, all of this stuff. So they're all going to be found. So I just wanted to mention that they broke very, very, I mean, this is severe at this point. So they've just kind of screwed themselves over.
Yeah, and hopefully Mercado will be held account for airing that. He should have known better. Observant,
Yes, ma'am.
do you still have your hand up? They kind of went away on me.
No, I thought we were pulling that gentleman up to speak.
We do have Shane up here. Shane's a friend of mine, or at least I consider him a friend. How are you doing, Shane?
Obviously monitoring all of this like it was when we were last Saturday when the stuff was in South Minneapolis. But this is I think the word rather than justification is it's probable cause. They now have probable cause to go in a lot of places. The geofencing, if the feds choose to do it, is obviously after J6, we know they have the capability of doing it. And yes, they will track any digital device that's connected. And maybe some of these people have gotten smarter and they use their little bags. I mean, I have one. So, yeah, but this is like they literally stole a federal firearm. Like, it's a game changer in that regard. Plus their identification, their documentation, which they did the same thing to the ICE agent that shot that gal the other day. They doxed him and put out his pictures of his house and everything. And it was interesting because Governor Walz I think it was the next day, did a press conference saying these people aren't even from our community or our state, or they don't know our community. Well, you know what? That particular ICE agent was a legit Minnesotan, and I'm not going to say where he lives, but I mean I know where it is, and it's actually where I've been in my life, I guess. So this is Governor Walz's press conference tonight was, do peacefully, but be loud, but yet still it uses terminology like Trump wants violence, and he wants violence in the street, which was very evident on Saturday, which was kind of a tense day for me because I wasn't kind of monitoring my text messages, and all of a sudden I noticed that my daughter drove down to that area, not exactly there, but to go visit a friend that's in college down very close to there. And I called her. I'm like, what the snot are you doing? And of course, they didn't know anything about this. They're just kids, whatever, young adults, if you will. And so then one of her girlfriends says, let's go down there. Let's participate. And I'm like, and I snapped on her girlfriend. I'm like, absolutely not. And I told my daughter, I will send a unit down there to extract your ass out of there. Your car will be stuck there. If it's broken into and the glass is smashed out, that's your problem at that point. But you better stand down and get your ass back home, which she did. So, and this thing is going to get even bigger because they're amping it up. And the advantage that the Walz administration has right now, every time one of these incidents happen, and anytime somebody gets hurt, kind of like the shooting that happened in North Minneapolis, it takes away the news feed from fraud. So they don't care how many followers of their side get injured, as long as the media coverage is not about fraud, because they can't defend that anymore. So all these people who are buying into their side of things, that think they're going to actually be able to make a change for whatever that is they believe.
100.
They are literally putting themselves in harm's way. And they likely somebody will get hurt and or dead, but it keeps them out of the news. So what we've learned in the last couple days, this has become, the fraud side of this has become much bigger, and it's much further outstate than many people knew, or still know. I've been trying to get a hold of some folks. I have gotten a hold of some folks. Just the stuff we've learned in the last couple days, of how widespread this all is. And I mean, it's taken, unfortunately, 7 years to get people to pay attention since I was elected, because I tried this, and I had documentation, everything in 2019. And we literally went and surveilled, and I was a brand new legislator at the time, but for 15 days in a row, we took pictures, we monitored, we captured all this footage of all this stuff, and nobody would touch it. Nobody would take it. Nobody would go do their part. We can only do so much. We don't have subpoena power. We don't have that in Minnesota. And it's where do you go with this? And we tried to go to federal things. We went to other states. That if we could tie it to another state, we tried everything and nobody would touch it. And now all of a sudden the Band-Aid's been ripped up, and finally people are paying attention. And quite frankly, it's far bigger than Minnesota alone, but we seem to be the epicenter because we somehow Minnesota and Walz can't stay out of the news for his entire tenure. It was 2020 and the Summer of Love and the riots, and then it was the year after that, it was there was a standoff at a bank in St. Cloud. It was a black guy that went in to rob the bank, and this was an interesting thing. The SWAT was there, and FBI was there. And Al Sharpton actually flew into MSP, and there were buses loads full of people being shipped in to St. Cloud, Minnesota, Antifa kind of agitators, whatever we call them now, because we keep changing terminology now. And they were all en route there, knowing this black man would have been shot. And it came to a peaceful conclusion, so they all had to turn around and leave because he surrendered and he didn't get shot. But the FBI was aware of it. The local SWAT team was aware of it. That these people were en route to get there to create and fan the flames. It may have been the same year. It would have been later in 2020. It's one of the two. It was either 2020 or 2021. But these people are being bussed in. They're being paid. There's a video out there. Did you see the video where the guy's running around with the American flag and then he gets into this like fight and he like literally drops like 5 guys? The guy with the red,
fabulous.
yeah, but the guy with the red jacket that instigated it, he was in a video 3 days prior where he got dropped by an ICE agent. The exact same guy. And he just apparently likes to be a punching bag because the ICE agent dropped him like a flippin' wet noodle and threw him out of the way. So these are the same exact people, and they just show up wherever they were told to go. And I don't know what the job pays. I know back during 2020, it was funny because all the Democrats were advocating for a minimum of $15 minimum wage. Yet, when you went on a Craigslist, they were hiring professional protesters, but it was all $12 or $13 an hour. Or maybe it was 11 to 13, whatever. But I'm like, you're not even paying the people what you're advocating for crying out loud. And then you see this Nick Sorter stuff, and which I hope Nick is, because he's here. He was trying to leave a long time ago, like what the hell, a week and a half ago. He canceled his flight back to D.C. and because he was out in front of the governor's mansion, like agitating Governor Walz apparently, when Governor Walz called the police on him. So that was kind of an interesting thing. And then he posted a picture of his screenshot of him canceling his flight. I still haven't figured out, or haven't had a chance to ask, like, what was the significance of the 3-foot long stuffed pickle? I'm not sure what that was all about. I did ask him if there was a string on the end on social media, so I didn't know if that might have been something to do with it.
Okay, let me go look
Not
at the
sure.
pickle. But
nevertheless, there is a lot going on here, and it's far bigger than U.S. Acting Attorney Biden appointed Joseph Thompson. Went out and did a press conference a while back saying this is going to exceed $1 billion. Everybody was like shock and awe, right? And then all of a sudden it was $9 billion. Now they're saying $18 billion, and it's easily going to hit $18 billion. That's just one state. What's going on in Michigan? What's going on in Ohio? What's going on in Maine? What's going on in Washington State? What's going on in California? Where the hell is all this money going? And then I find out it's like I literally just found out it's like a lot of places really near me, and they're multiplying rapidly. And they literally just added a new satellite office, and this is very much outstate Minnesota. So this is everywhere. And I did learn, here's a thing I did learn. For those of you that are in Minnesota or anywhere, I don't really get, because, well, I learned that there's a protocol if the Department of Health, which is administered by the county, like when they go into facilities, it's typically a county person that goes in and does an inspection or what have you, and then they upload the information. But if they find something that's suspect, whether it's abuse or fraud, what have you, then they have to send that to the state, and the state then, back years ago, they would then send it back to the sheriff to do the investigation. That hasn't happened in many, many, many years. So what I did ask my sheriff was, if that's the protocol, how it's supposed to be, can it be where I just, if I see something, can I just call you directly and report it and skip all that other nonsense of this whole round robin bullshit? And he said yes. And I gave him an example of something that we recently learned about. And I said, fine, then I'm putting you on notice. I just informed you of something I believe you should investigate. Call your sheriffs directly. if anybody like if you learn about something and something looks really really off, and like right now I have quite a few of them, but that I'm literally reporting these things directly to the sheriff, because the sheriff is the most powerful person in a county for the, what do we have, 50 states? So I think it's 47 that have sheriffs. It's either 47 or 48, but they are the most powerful person in the county. Let them go investigate it. If you live in like Blue County, like Hennepin County or Ramsey County, well, sucks being you. But aside from that, you can report it there and not wait for them to go through the whole process. Because that's the direction I'm taking it going forward.
Shane, let me ask you a couple of really, really quick questions, and then the hands have been waiting a while. But do you think that streamer that showed he's been streaming for a long time? You think they're going to go after that streamer that put that information out publicly? And do you think the impeachment articles are going to have a chance?
So the streamer, the influencer, whatever, the pod, whatever he is, social media guy that put that out there, he's probably in a lot of deep doo-doo.
Deep doo-doo.
Because there's been a lot of, I gotta be really careful. A lot of communication with ICE officials, federal officials as a whole, not just even ICE, but a whole litany of them, like whether it's held down to the Department of Energy, Department of Education.
I'm out of cigarettes.
Department of Agriculture, because that's where a lot of the SNAP benefits comes from. There is so many of these people in Minnesota right now, these federal people. So there's a lot into that. Now, Trump announced, like was it last week, he sent 2,000 agents in, and now he said he's going to send another 1,000 plus the ones that were here before he sent the 2,000, which was a significant amount. This thing is probably going to exceed the number of our lakes here before long, if it hasn't already. So that said, the impeachment stuff, it's going to probably be, so we go back into session on February 17th. There's some procedural crap you got to do at the beginning of it all, and then there's going to be motions, resolutions, and it probably will pop up then. It'll probably die on a 67-67 vote, because is my hunch. I'm hopeful anyway that all of our members vote for it, and their members will obviously vote against it. Because we're an evenly tied house, and it's anything tied is done. It's over. It's gone. So, impeachment is traditionally very unsuccessful in the vast majority of cases throughout the nation. It's a pretty tall hill to climb, but either way, at least they'll be on record saying, "No, I'm not voting for it." And if any of our members vote against it, then they'll be on record. So y'all can have fun with that. You know, that we put out a letter to, many of us signed to push him to resign. So I don't know if it was us or Nick Soder out in front of his governor's mansion, but because it all happened the next day when he announced he wasn't going to run for re-election. But
he's probably running for president.
I think this man is taking so many arrows from so many different directions, and I don't care what kind of armor you wear. All armor has weak points, and it was coming at him from everywhere. And he is clearly not the man he used to be. He got elected as governor the same year I got elected as a state rep, and he has not been the same guy, particularly since he got on the national stage for the VP candidate, and more so once he debated J.D. Vance. Since then, he has been off his tilt, like exponentially. And now with all this, it seems to be amping up. And there was a lot of back noise last August that Klobuchar was trying to get him out of the way because she wanted to run for governor. Now that he stepped out, she has not announced, and it's now over a week. And so if she was going to do it, she's not doing it now because apparently she wants no part of this hot mess.
Yeah, he's not the hot endorsement right now, is he?
Hey.
You know, Mr. Jazz Hands auditioning for the Drag Queen show.
Cuba, do you want to hop in for a minute, or do you want to go up to Hands? You want to check your mic, see if that got worked out?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I think we should go to Hands. They've been waiting quite a while.
All right, I'm gonna offer it to Observant because he was first in line if he wants to go.
I'm going to decline and pass it forward, please.
All right,
Yeah, I wanted to thank the state representative for joining us. Are you as bewildered as we are that this is all being, I know the words they say are tacit, but essentially supported by your state's governor, the mayor of your largest city, and your attorney general, who filed a bogus, legally meritless lawsuit to try to save himself? At what point, and Trump is honestly in between, you're absolutely right, that the perception of this for a lot of normies, so-called, is going to be the very small sample size of bad things that happen and not the greater good and work that ICE does every day without incident. It's clearly, I agree, because I live in a blue city on the West Coast, and we have the same paid Antifa agitators. And we have done the Insurrection Act for less than this during the Rodney King riot. And I know we're in a difficult place, but the law has to be the law. And what do you think the average citizen should do about it, especially in Minnesota? Thanks.
So Governor Walz, which always seems to be, if here in California, always seems to be in competition with Governor Newsom. He always wants to one-up. They seem to one-up each other. Like whatever Newsom does, then Walz will push it a little bit further, but it's beside the point. Governor Walz announced about, right after that gal got shot, that he was going to put the National Guard on standby to be ready to push back against the federal agents, which is a really interesting concept because he's going to ask the Minnesota National Guard to then go fight federal law enforcement. That right there is a pretty significant push, especially as a retired National Guard member of 24 years, because at that point, Pete Hegseth could, if they chose to, reactivate him, order him to a base, to which then he would not be allowed to leave pending a court-martial. On the second side of it, if they chose not to do it that way, then Governor Walz could activate the National Guard, and then Trump could simply turn around and federalize them, which means he just took away Timmy's little army. Because once they're federalized, the commander-in-chief went from Governor Walz to Donald Trump. So either way, that whole thing can be played out. But he did make a huge misstep, and he's tried to softly backtrack that, or talk it back a little bit. But if you go back to 2 weeks ago from last Monday, Matt Taibbi, who was the one who broke all the Twitter files back in the day, he does a podcast with Walter Kern, K-I-R-N. Can't emphasize enough to go watch this podcast, at least the first hour. It's about 2 hours long. You can skip the first 5 minutes if you want to, but then watch the rest of the first hour. Matt Taibbi came here and interviewed a Somali whistleblower that allegedly had the receipts to prove that at least, not less than, 4 people elected in the state of Minnesota had taken significant bribes, if you will. Not campaign donations, like bribes. And in that podcast, he names, I believe, at least 3 of them. He may have said all 4 of them, but I know he's for sure said 3 of them off of memory. And it was Ilhan Omar, Jacob Fry, which is the mayor of Minneapolis, and Keith Ellison. So, and this whole interview he did, as my understanding, was videotaped. And then this individual is one of those that was convicted, but not yet sentenced, in this whole, a lot of this fraud stuff going on. So there's a lot happening rapidly. And And I don't think anybody looks at Matt Taibbi as like a flippant right-wing conspiracy theorist by any means. I mean, he wrote for Rolling Stone for years, and I would not consider Rolling Stone a conservative bastion of a rag sheet by any means. So there's a lot of every day it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and the more we find, the crazier it gets. I'm not sure, but I think Nick Shirley might still be here. I know Nick Soder is, and I believe others are coming of the names you all know. And we have another case that, well, we'll know more. What is today? Wednesday? Well, it was Wednesday, but no, Thursday. But on Friday, there was a significant election fraud thing where a individual walked in on early voting to vote in the morning, then he returned that afternoon to try to vote again. The clerk recognized him, called the sheriff sent a deputy over, whatever, sheriff's office, at a whopping 20 feet away. He turned over a piece of paper that allegedly, this is what we haven't seen the sheriff's report yet, but it was a list of names and addresses that he was given. This was what I was told back then. This was October 7th of 2024. And that he was being paid to vote under these names. So that was finally adjudicated December 15th of last year. So what, 3 weeks ago, whatever. And so we will get, more than that now, but whatever. But yeah, that would be right. So it's a 30-day, there's a 30-day appellant period where the defendant can appeal if he chooses to. So the stuff does not become public until after that expires, which is January 15th, so we should have this thing in our hand hopefully on January 16th, depending on what the county does, and then dig through it, and then, because it's a 200-ish page law enforcement report. So it's pretty significant. And I'm being told by many that there's a lot of there. So it's not just all the cash fraud, it's the voter fraud, it's all this stuff, it's everywhere, and it's throughout the state. And it all seems to be vastly kind of wrapping around the majority of it's by the same culture.
Do you think it's going to be, do you think the Trump administration is going to be able to grasp it and get it wrangled in?
So, for the last several months, on account of that particular case I just mentioned, the DOJ requested the Secretary of State from Minnesota, which his name is Steve Simon, to turn over the voter rolls, which they denied. A week later, they put out a press conference, or a statement, I should say, that the attorney representing the Secretary of State said they have not given any example of any reason why we should turn this over, no extreme examples or whatever, I'm paraphrasing heavily. But at that moment, I thought, I wonder if they know about this court case that is pending. And so then at that point, I went on a hell-bent mission that was back, I don't know, 4 months ago probably, to try to get a hold of the Civil Rights Division of the head attorney, which is Harmeet Dillon, so that she had this on her radar, because that includes elections and their oversight and purview. So that's been ongoing ever since. And like I said, somebody better end up in cuffs. And I'm at the point, like, I don't give two hoots if it sticks or not. Just put them in cuffs and perp walk them and hold them for their 72 hours that you can do unless you can't charge them. Just put them in cuffs. Like, make an example out of these people. There's enough there, and I understand you got to cross all your T's and dot all your I's before you bring charges forward. Otherwise, it won't stick, and they'll get off, and then we'll all be pissed. But for the here and now, just perp walk them and then cut them loose. Then do cross your T's and dot your I's, and then go back and perp walk them again. Just perp walk them.
I don't know if that's legal.
Because there's enough there to know there is no way around this, that multiple people have to be turning a blind eye or involved or whatever the case may be. But there's over I think on their little Twitter X channel, whatever, for Minnesota Department of Health whistleblowers page thing they have, They claim they're 480 strong, and I believe there's like 7,000 employees in the Department of Health in Minnesota. But I know that personally, it's over 800 of them that have come forward privately. So it's a lot more than even they know about, and they're all telling this story. They've gone to the Walz administration, they've gone to all these different things, and all they got was retaliation. So there's no way that these people are complicit in this. They knew this was happening. There's audio recordings of Attorney General Keith Ellison saying, "Don't worry about it. I'll put an end to this." You know, because they claim it's racism when they shut down their payments, what have you. I mean, there's so many people that I have one from another county where there's another one of these stupid care centers or whatever the hell it is, whichever way it is, saying you need to send us our payments. Well, you're not licensed yet. This comes from a specific person in a county, but it doesn't matter. We're going to be licensed tomorrow. Just send us our payments that you owe us, but you're not licensed yet. This has been going on for 3 months. Well, we're going to be licensed tomorrow. So you need to send us our money. And then and when they say, no, you're not licensed by the state yet, well, you're being racist. No, I'm not. You need to be licensed. And it's been ongoing for 3 months. This is like a common thing going on everywhere. It's just going to easily exceed $18 billion. I swear it's going to at the end of the day.
Mr. Scuba, do you want to hop in or you want to do hands?
Well, I just have, who cares about the racist card anymore? Racism, or the racist word doesn't mean anything anymore. The Nazi word doesn't mean anything anymore. I really don't care anymore about any of those words. It's honestly just a tactic at this stage. And so whoever it is that's pushing back against that needs to say the same thing. I'm not racist. I am just going by the facts of the case, and continue to hammer that home is all I have to say. But yeah, we have had some hands up for quite a while. So let's get to some of those.
All right. I think it was Gigabro and then Happy and then Itza.
All right, I got two quick ones for you. When you said Tim Walz was like off tilt, can you give us an example of that? Like what is he doing? Like, is he like extra nervous around the office? Is he just like looking down, being angry all the damn time, something like that? And as for the guys who broke into the ICE agent's car, like what kind of punishments are we looking at here? What kind of charges are they looking at?
I'm not a lawyer, nor am I in law enforcement, but you have multiple felonies. A, they broke into a federal vehicle. B, they stole federal documents. C, they publicized them. And they also stole a gun that is a federal gun. I don't know if there's any enhancement to that. I wouldn't be surprised if there is, because there seems to be enhancements to a lot of crap. It doesn't, half of them don't make sense to me, but whatever, because if you did something dumb, it's dumb as dumb, but you're a criminal. But there's so many. Plus, they also would have disclosing of a federal employee's private information, so because that's all been put out there. So there's a lot of it, because the guy that had the incident with the chick the other day, once he was doxxed, that him and his entire family have been relocated to an undisclosed location. I don't even know where it is. Couldn't tell you, because once their information was put out. So I mean, there's a lot that could probably be unpacked there. As far as him being off his tilt, I've watched Tim Walz and I've actually gone back and forth with him, like via press conference. Like I would do one, and he would counteract the next day, and I would do one the next day, whatever. Tim is not he's not bad. I mean, like, he can give a good speech, or always was able to, but he has not been that since last year. He has not been on his game. He seems to be on the defense more than the offense. And he seems to go off script, which is where it really goes sideways, when he said, well, I'm just a knucklehead because I don't know grammar well. Well, you were a teacher. How do you explain that? I mean, and like he steps in it.
Can't blame that one on
DAI.
DAI.
To be his writer. We all have comms writers. You know, we just kind of do our thing, type up our message we want to put out, and they clean it up.
I personally think he's reeling from the kicking balls of not being able to be vice president, and he is just he's full tilt at this stage. He doesn't care, and now he's not going to he's not going to seek
Scuba, why'd you
re-election.
interrupt him?
So it doesn't matter what he does at this stage. He's going to do whatever he wants to do, and so hopefully, like you said, we see some cuffs, because cuffs is what needs to happen at this stage. It's the only way out for that. He needs to just go away and move forward, because Minnesota's going to be destroyed if he continues to run it. And hopefully, like I said,
I think
hopefully
that's the
Trump
plan.
comes with cuffs. But as far as the firearm that was stolen, I just wanted to weigh in on that in a second. The only enhancement that would matter would be if it was a fully automatic weapon, which I don't believe it is. And there's no other enhancement that's really going to matter as far as that goes. Any firearm can be enhanced in any way other than fully automatic, which I don't think they have. But I do appreciate you, Shane, and everything you're saying. But I do want to give the floor to some other people as well, if you can respect that.
Fair.
Who's next, Moni?
Actually, wait. One little quick thing. The other part is Governor Walz owns no property in Minnesota. So statewide, all of our property taxes collectively went up $1 billion. So some counties had high double-digit increases. Some were in the 8 to 9% was kind of the lower end. But everybody's taxes went up $1 billion collectively. He owns no property in Minnesota. He has no skin in the game for what it is he pushed on all the counties as an unfunded mandate that they had to implement. So when you look
Do you
at
think
it,
that's something that we could push forward, that you have to reside in the state in which you represent?
Well, he does reside because he lives in the governor's mansion that the taxpayer pays for. I was hoping he would stay in, to be honest, to be quite frank. And I talked to all the different the top gubernatorial candidates on our side, going, if the question comes up where he says anything about the wealthy got to pay their fair share or all these great programs we implemented, somebody's got to ask him the question, how much did your property taxes go up? Because I want to see how he would answer that. Because he doesn't pay any. Like, he lives in the governor's mansion that the taxpayer pays for. He owns nothing. So he implements all this crap on everybody else that does not affect him. I know last August he was looking for a no-show job, whether it was Berkeley as an honorary professor, he show up once a month, get $500,000 a year, whatever. Those types of things. I'm not saying specifically Berkeley, but he was looking for that. Nobody wanted to touch him. He can't find a place to land. He is in a panic mode because there are others talking about the fact that he could very much, and I think in the federal side, both him and Ellison have had their names put forward to look into an investigation. I don't know all the proper languages, but to look into this to potentially indict. Like, he's got stuff coming at him from everywhere, and even the liberal media here is even now starting to ask him hard questions. He's got it coming from everywhere. Back to your hands.
All right. I'm going to tell you guys the order. We had Happy, Rocco, Itza, and Bo.
Go ahead, Happy. And thank you for all your input, Shane. I truly appreciate it. But thank you. Go ahead, Happy. Happy, are you there, Happy? 3, 2, 1. Rocco.
Just 'cause I like being the tinfoil hat guy in the room. Mr. Shane, you said that the governor has been different for the last year and a half, like he's off, like something's just not right.
Oh no!
Like,
Please to God,
maybe
no,
it's
Rocco.
just a guy wearing a rubber mask. It looks like
no.
Tampon Tim Walz.
God damn it, no!
I'll step off my soapbox.
Why, Rocco?
No, I actually saw him on the House floor after they refused to come back for 3.5 weeks. The Democrats refused to show up in the beginning of the session, and he finally showed up when they decided to come back. But Tim was Tim. He was still the Uncle Timmy that it's the uncle nobody likes because he kind of scares the snot out of you. So, and he was passing out like brownies and bars, and He had a big entourage of cameras behind him. We all ran off the floor because we didn't want to get caught in a picture with him. And when I'm standing off the side with a whole bunch of our members, I went, wait a minute, somebody's got to go ask him if there's marijuana in those brownies. So I ran back to the floor and asked him, like, are those pot brownies? And he said, no. I'm like, no, I don't want one then. Because they passed the marijuana bill. And I don't care if you're for or against, but they were like, that nonsense. And then they mucked that whole thing up. So,
I mean, I'd run for state rep, but you know, my state rep is actually pretty good for my district.
Timmy the Doughboy. On
Maxi Pad Man.
Hopefully, people are still driving by his house and yelling "retard." I support that 100%.
Oh no!
Let's move to the next. Or Happy, are you there again? Oh no, we lost Happy.
No,
Who is next?
Happy must be having problems because I thought he'd made it back. Here he is. Let's see if we can get him because he waited a long time. Give him about 5 seconds and see if his mic.
Let's see if he can clap his hands, because if you're happy and you know it, come on.
Hey, Happy, are you there?
That was perfect timing with that sound effect, whoever that was.
Happy, the mic's yours if you're back with us.
That would be the resident soundboard reptilian. He is always on point with the soundboard.
Happy, we're trying, dear. It just don't seem to be working. We've got Itza and Bo.
Thanks. Representative, I think you gave us a really good and comprehensive answer, but respectfully, it was the politician's answer. We know there's a lot of smoke here around Tim Walz. We talk about it every day. We've been fed all the breadcrumbs. It's up to him to prove that there's no fire. We're kind of fed up. We haven't in our lifetimes seen, I'll land my plane very shortly. We haven't in our lifetimes seen a governor sort of defy the federal government in such a systematic, sustained manner as he is now, basically calling for open warfare in the streets, letting violent people like loot the federal government, which is an embarrassment. Like, I'm sorry, but citizens have to stop this if the politicians won't. How has he not been, I agree with you, yes, they have to be in cuffs. Like, how have the people of Minnesota not stopped this themselves?
So we saw the same thing happen in 2020 where he did nothing and he let it go. And then his daughter was posting out messages once he finally called in the National Guard, putting it on social media how far closer they were getting. So that it's clear, like, okay, I live in my own home, right? So there's certain things, like if I'm talking to mama and I'm going, here's what's going on, my daughter may overhear me, right? It's been made very clear to her, like, you cannot talk about this. Should she accidentally hear something, like, I didn't realize she was in an earshot. Where his daughter was literally posting the location of how close the National Guard was as they were getting closer. So you add that to, like, all of the stuff, the retaliation, and this is not a political answer. I actually think this man should be arrested. Do I think he was as complicit in all the money laundering thing? Some say no, because they don't think he's smart enough, where others are more conniving, whatever. I think because he's the chair of the Democrat National Governors Association, or whatever the hell they call it. And so, like, this is an orchestrated effort. There's even more news about Act Blue, which could be potentially greater than $1 trillion in fraud. And so you have all this stuff coming down. You have Amy Klobuchar, who's under investigation for $10 million in smurfing. Don't even ask me to explain that one, for those that don't know it, because I'm just going to tell you it's what happens when you sleep with a smurf. You turn blue. But nevertheless.
That's hilarious.
But, like, this is not a political answer. This guy, there's no way he did not know. There's no way, because there's no way when he goes and has his little private meetings with his little, it would be the Blaha, which is the auditor, Keith Ellison himself, then Melissa Hortman. There's no way they weren't talking about all this stuff going on. And how do we handle all this? We have all these state employees. They're coming at us. They're saying there's bad stuff going on, and they're literally retaliating against them. And how are we going to stifle all that noise And what do? There's just no way you can incorporate that many people or shut up that many people without a coordinated effort. He is literally complicit in this.
Thank you for that answer. I am gonna, Shane. I don't know if I could DM you. I don't know if you follow me back or if I could DM you. I have a friend that is running for Senate here in Washington State. Very good guy, young Republican, that I would love to see win in 2028. He ran in the last election cycle, ended up getting primaried by Raul Garcia, and ended up that Maria Cantwell won on the Democratic side anyways, because we're a blue state. But I would love for you guys to be able to connect, and maybe you could shoot him some tips on some campaigning issues if you'd be willing to do that.
Was that Scuba?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I just followed you.
Thank you for that. Yeah, I'll send you over his ex, and hopefully maybe you guys can connect and do that. That would be great. But let's keep going through hands.
Wait. Quickly, Scuba. So this is a friend of yours that you know well?
Yes.
All right. Here, I'm going to send you another DM. I'll send you a DM, I should say. Just
okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Perfect. Bye. Yep.
And Shane, I don't know if you know or not, but this is a group of friends I've met through supporting Portland. So these are some people that are showing up out there, counter protesting, supporting ICE. This is a good group of folks.
Well, Steve's got my DM now, so just share that with your friend.
Yes, absolutely, I will. Thank you so much for that. Moni, you know the order?
Well, Happy's trying one more time. Let's go to Happy, and then Bo it was. Happy, do you have your mic?
I do. Thank you very much. Shane, thank you, Representative, for being here. One thing, you're absolutely 100% about Tim Walz. Article 2 of the UCMJ, he is a retiree. Thereby, he is subject to Article 2 of the UCMJ, and he can be recalled at any time. It's usually for major acts that like the sedition with the Seditious Six with Captain Mark Kelly, who's the senator, and getting on. And he has said some things about law enforcement, and ICE, and activating the Guard to fight against ICE, which is ridiculous beyond any. I was a convening authority, so I'm very familiar with the process of, I was not a JAG, but I was a convening authority. So they referred the charges to me, and then I referred them to the court martial, to whether it was a summary special or a general court martial. The second thing I wanted to talk about was, I wrote a note here, Mercado Media and Status Coup. They have been in your state, and they're the ones that have been doxing. Your voice is larger than mine under this name, obviously, and I don't have a direct line to Elon, but it would be great to have their names out there because they did dox those ICE officers. And they did so in a manner where they were on video, and they're proud of it. And then they've hidden their posts. I think somebody else may have mentioned that. I was kind of in and out of the space. But Shane, thank you for everything you're doing there as a representative. It must be tough being in a state where you're, you've got so much fraud. The same thing with California. Newsom is. They're having it there as well. It's basically everywhere across. The luring center that they found. It's kind of the internal joke. But it really is the ridiculousness that's happening up in Minnesota. How could they put that sign out and then receive violations and then still continue to open and receive funding? Anyhow, sir, thank you for being here. We really appreciate your time. And again, maybe a mention I put up in the top. If you look in the top, scroll up a little bit. It says Elon Musk, Mercado Media, and Status Quo have been removed from Twitch, which is a leftist streaming service. Woke is on there. They Sad Girl, anything leftist, they usually get away with it. They did not get away with it. Their doxing of the ICE agents, of federal agents, is a clear violation. So they have removed them from the service, but yet on X, they're still here. They've just hidden their posts behind a wall. If you follow them and he follows you back, you can see those posts. So he needs to ban those accounts. I'm doing what I can on my end and with the context that I have and what I did um, through my 30 years of service, and trying to get to him. Too bad Dan Bongino is no longer at the, deputy director. He's going to do his podcast, and I am a Dan Bongino fan. He has, given up his. He gave up his life, and he just. I think his wife. Just the hours and what you all do. It never stops, and I think with AG Bondi, and what's going on. He wants heads, and they're not. It's not coming fast enough. That's my personal opinion on that aspect. But thank you again, sir, for being here with us. And by the way, all these members that you see, like they were saying, they go into Portland and they protect. They protect the from the Manny, who's not in here with us, has been he went in there and just blasted them. They don't know how to handle Manny. Okay, he is an alpha male that just comes in hot, and they do not know how to handle him. But there are others in here that go down there and broadcast and stream what's going on, and they try to stay out of the bullshit is the best way to say it, of what happens down there in Portland. Portland is proof that mental institutions should have never been closed in the United States of America. But now we're seeing Minneapolis and what's happening up there. And standing at the ICE agents last night, I'm watching BG on the scene, and I forget who else was there. Ford Fisher, and he was on one side and the other on the other. They're sitting out there beating on Home Depot, 5-gallon 5-gallon buckets, just for hours. That's private property. How were they not removed from that? Why was tear gas not deployed immediately to get them off that property? So those gentlemen and male and females, if there are some female agents that are there, maybe working in the background, were to be able to have a peaceful sleep. So anyhow, that's just my 2 cents. Thank you. I appreciate you being here, sir. You have a big voice. You have a big platform. I hope you would write to Elon and just copy, one of those tweets of him doxing everybody, Shane. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I do have to say really quick, I do find it, and maybe this is me in my tinfoil hat a little bit. I do have to say it is very oddly convenient that Minnesota was exposed for fraud by Nick Shirley, who I think is doing beautiful work. And then now we are in where Minnesota is now the hotbed for dissent and chaos. I do find that very interesting. I don't believe in coincidence. I just draw lines.
Hey, Observant gave up his spot earlier. He waited for a long time. I want to go to him first, and then we'll get to the rest of the hands.
So, I don't want you to think this is rude. I have a sincere question. How much of a smokescreen is between Congress and the governor for this amount of fraud to not be found, and to be found by a guy named Dave and some young kid that comes in to record it? Like, how does an entire state have this much fraud on the amount of levels that it's at and the amount of money without Congress and local Congress knowing about it? How much of a division is there between the governor and Congress that there was that much of a smokescreen that it wasn't found and exposed and seen?
So I can address that. So a year ago, because of all the in 2023 and 2024, the Democrats had the trifecta, and they pumped a whole bunch of money and a whole bunch of things. They blew a $21 billion surplus. They added $10 more billion in taxes, and all of this. And we had been pushing this prior to even me getting there, because 2017, 2018, the CCAP fraud was already a big story to my predecessors back then. And it was then Governor Dayton. Dayton, by the way, if you're not familiar with who that is, the Dayton family is the founder of what was once called Dayton Hudson, Hudson Jewelers, and affectionately known to everybody today as the Target companies.
Hey,
So
Shane,
Target,
can I interject and just clarify that trifecta means they had the governorship, they had the House, and they had the Senate of the state, right?
correct. So, in all of that, no matter where we went, nothing would happen. So for all of last year, we had people out looking, surveilling all of these different things that we thought may or may not be legit. And like literally spending maybe multiple days there to see, like, are any kids coming? Or like, you give it 3-4 days, right? And there's so many of them, and the transportation companies, all of this. So we've compiled a list of all this, and that was then. I don't even know that we got through all of it yet, to be honest. But they had enough. So Dave had all this stuff, and then Dave can look up like, it's not that hard to look up like certain things on state websites, but like all of this information has been compiled by a massive resource of people to get it. And how Nick Shirley ended up with this, I can't tell you. I don't know. Because like literally at the time, as far as a social media influencer, he was a nobody. Maybe it was just that, I don't know if he had a relationship with Dave. I don't know how that part happened. But Dave has been working with, in the first video, if you look at it, he says, I have sources at the state capitol that are very reliable or whatever, trustworthy, however he says it. And that's where a lot of this all started. It was, and I don't honestly know how Nick Shirley got pulled into this thing, and kudos to him. Like, he's done an amazing thing. I mean, he keeps doing it, and he's not afraid. And part of it, though, also is, for years, many of us knew there's a whole lot of stuff going on with Ilhan Omar. There's a lot of information out there that she may not even be a citizen, and it actually looks like she's not. There is documented proof that it appears that she did actually marry her brother and bring him over here. And there's a lot of reasons why that would have happened, but whatever. And then he went to North Dakota State University, and he got a kind of a free ride there as a refugee resettlement thing person. So like there's so much there, but nobody would touch it until Trump came along and ripped that. Everybody's so afraid of the word racism back in 2019, 2020, 2021, whatever. And we're all out there like pissing and moaning about this. I mean, and Trump just ripped that Band-Aid off and said, who cares? And now nobody seems to care. So now everybody's getting on board with it. Well, finally. Okay, so this to me is the greatest day to be alive in the state of Minnesota. Because finally, all of what we've been talking about, even prior to me being down up to run for office, I was pissing and moaning about this on every job site that I was on. I'm a trade guy, by the way, but nevertheless, I'm like, this is bullshit. These people are driving around in cars better than I could ever afford or whatever. And you see all this nonsense, and like, how can they go buy this building? Like, they got here like flipping month ago, and they got the down payment for a $2 million building. Are you kidding me? Like, I'm still working for that day. And then there was a Fox 9, which is a local Fox affiliate, news story. It was literally like on TV. where a Somali woman gets on a plane with $1 million cash in a suitcase, and then they interviewed the TSA agent, says, well, yeah, typically there's nothing illegal because we can't prove it has anything to do with illicit drugs or anything, so it's perfectly allowable. I'm like, I've never seen $100,000 cash sitting on a table, let alone $1 million in a damn suitcase. Are you shitting me? And then they all said they had to come here because they were being persecuted in their country, but they have to go back every year. And then they pass some stupid law that says the landlord has got to hold their rent at $90 a month for the 3 months or whatever the hell it is that they go back over for whatever it is. And they can't get rid of their apartment. I'm like, if you're so afraid of being persecuted, why the hell are you going back?
I have a theory I'd like to lay on the table really quick as far as the Nick Shirley thing goes. I think this Dave guy's probably been doing his due diligence and doing work, and probably screaming to the rooftops to people, and nobody would listen. No mainstream media's going to pick it up. Nobody's going to touch it. And maybe he saw Nick Shirley at the round table with Donald Trump, and he said, you know what? Maybe that guy's going to listen to me. Maybe he's a young guy, journalist, and pick up the story. And I think that is how fate decided that was going to happen. That's just my theory.
Okay, so my theory to that is some of these people that I've gotten to know was just, honestly, this is the dumbest thing ever. But once somebody explained to me there's a thing called Twitter Spaces, which I never knew about back, whatever. And I literally ran into Scott Pressler to one of these things, and I taunted him going, hey, if you come to Minnesota and you advocate for, stuff, I'll buy you a smoked prime rib dinner. And it turned into a thing where he did come in 2023, he came in 2024, and he's coming back this year. But it was one of those things where I still don't know David. I don't know how I didn't know him, but I guess other members do, or at least they do now. But it's just a matter of finally, the good Lord had two people bump into one another that hey, we can help each other, kind of thing. And the same with Nick Sorter and many others. Until you have the opportunity, okay, great. You wake up one day. I love Dan Bongino's podcast. How the hell do you get a hold of him to tell him something? Okay, go ahead. Try to figure out how to get a hold of Dan Bongino. I'll tell you what, you can't. You got to go
exactly. But you see, and that's it. You'd be hard pressed to get somebody to listen to you that's kind of on that level. And then maybe something like you would reach out to Theo Vaughn, somebody who's still growing, and that's kind of similar situation to that. So, but also we do have quite a bit of hands, so I'd like to get to those. Moni, do you know who is next?
Well, Observe It, did you want to follow up with anything? I saw you for a minute.
Yeah, I still don't believe my question was answered. I just wonder how we have Congress in our government positions and things get this overlooked, and then it comes down to an independent journalist to blow the whistle. It just bothers me to think what really goes on in government. It's just something that really bothers me. It's gut wrenching to think that we have Congress and we have government, but it takes an independent journalist to expose that amount of fraud. Is where I was getting at.
Well, here's my non-politician answer. That's not a dig at you, Shane, at all.
No, I'm not being disrespectful. I'm
not saying you were. I was just prefacing mine. I'm not trying to distract you in saying that I'm going to give you the non-politician answer. Is that the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing, and that is problematic in our government. I really think that is a huge problem. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong, Shane, or Moni, go ahead after that.
Well, I just want to say Shane's out here fighting like we are. I've known Shane for a couple of years now. But what happened in his state is everybody that's in legislation was on the Democratic team. There was no way they could vote against everything they tried to vote against when they're passing through all these fundings and things and policies. And he was on the team that was outnumbered. They couldn't do anything to stop it. just like we talked about the airport too, before you know it, they've got all these little areas that they've secured, and they're passing laws, and the money's flowing, and there was not enough members on Shane's team. It they dropped it in the House, they'd pass it. They dropped it in the Senate, they'd pass it, and then the governor would sign it, and there just wasn't enough of them. Shane, do you want to expand on that any?
Just to make it really clear, because I know there's now even more hands, but
this is not an attack, by the way. This is
no,
trying to figure out the system and how the heck, like, that's sad that, like, if there's one party so powerful to allow this amount of corruption, like, that's very scary to think.
So okay, you draft a bill. Schoolhouse Rock. I wish we had it back for kids to watch, but nevertheless, you draft a bill, you introduce it. It comes to that, and then it gets assigned to a committee. Once it's put into a given committee, at that point, it's your job to go to that committee and try to get a committee hearing. When they control the House, the Senate, and the governorship, you will not get a hearing. If you do not get a hearing, that bill never goes anywhere. It never gets out of that committee. It cannot move, because you have to have a hearing on it to get it out of committee, and if it has to go to multiple committees, and then it's got to go through Ways and Means and or rules, depending, and if once it gets past that, it gets to the House floor. But at any point in there, Lisa Damon got elected the same year I did. She's one of the gubernatorial candidates. She had a very good bill in 2019 on this very topic. She could not get a committee hearing. They wouldn't allow it. So, and then just last year, we had a bill passed the Senate, 60 yeas to 7 nays, to create an office of Inspector General that would have subpoena power, because neither of our chambers do, the Senate or the House, and it would be an independent office, independent of the governor's office, and it would have full authority to go after fraud. And the Senate passed it handsomely, like literally 60 to 7, and there are 34 Democrats and 33 Republicans, so it's a 1-vote majority for the Democrats. And it gets to the House, and Governor Walz tells the Speaker, or the minority leader, Melissa Hortman, who was assassinated, to kill this bill, make sure it does not pass. So it's 67 to 67. But yet everybody wanted it. And it's like absurd. So this is like how this stuff happens. When they have control, elections have consequence.
Thank you.
Would it be feasible to? I don't want to get you into the weeds, because we do have a lot of fans. But it would be feasible to cut that, so to speak, so that some of these bills, probably the things that come to the floor, aren't just so bloated that there's just room for fraud.
Again, yes, and you can offer amendments on the floor to cut this out, cut that out, do all this, but if it all gets voted down, then you got nothing. Which we have those amendments. Like, if you want to watch historic mountains of hours of video content from any state house legislative floor on either the House or Senate, you will see this happens all the time, but they just all get shot down.
Fair enough. Thank you for the concise answer. Yeah. And damn it, where's Mr. Bill when you need him? We actually have somebody that's a frequent flyer in our spaces. His name is Mr. Bill. He has the picture from Schoolhouse Rock. So it would have been fun to have him in here. He's an interesting guy. Very, very intelligent. Yeah, let's go continue through our hands here.
We've got Chad, Rocco, Giga, and Bo.
Hello, everyone. I don't know if you can hear me. My sound just started going to crap real quick here. Kind of
We got you.
What's that?
We got you.
Okay, because I could barely hear you guys, so maybe it's my phone on that. But yeah, question I had earlier, I was gonna let it go, but I just want to say, Shane, hey, you know what? Another Minnesotan here. You know, it's amazing that you're still up here. What? It's 2:33 here right now. If anybody, you know, So it's like, it's awesome to see you're still up this late talking to everybody. I just want to say that real quick. Appreciate it. I'm going to leave it at that, though.
Thank you, Chad. Rocco. Rocco?
All right, can you get me? Did I get in time?
You
Did I
got
make
it.
it?
You there.
Yeah. Okay. Something that has just blatantly hit me in the face like a freight train
Oh,
coming
God.
down the track with the lights on and
No more
fucking
Q
horn
shit,
going,
Rocco,
toot,
please.
Toot, toot, motherfucker, toot, toot. Thank you. Somalia is a country full of pirates, my brothers and sisters.
Yes, we know.
What do pirates do? They pillage, they plunder, they rape, they steal. What are they doing in Minnesota right now? They're pirates. Pirates do what pirates are gonna do.
He's using the Q logic, but he's actually,
I'll step
like,
off
right.
the soapbox. I hope I opened an eye or two. It's
You know,
blatantly, it hit me, like I said, came...
We realize this,
like a
Rocco.
friggin'
God,
freight train,
please
but
stop.
It's blatantly obvious why what's happening is happening when you have a community full of Somalians.
Somalians?
Rocco, I was looking up some of the daycares a few days ago. I don't even remember. I think I was in a different state. Might have been Texas even. But there was 2 daycares owned by the same
What is
people, and
wrong
they were
with
called
you?
Little Pirates Daycare. Who would name their daycare Little Pirates?
Imagine that, my brothers and sisters. Blatantly obvious, right in your face. Oh my gosh. It's
Go ahead, Giga.
kind of makes you say, well, damn.
You okay, Rocco? Anyways, my question for Shane. Well, everyone's got a lot of interesting other questions. I'm still trying to get into the psyche of Tim Walz. When you said he was like the uncle nobody liked, was that just because he was annoying or what? You also said he was scary as hell, so it's like, I'm curious here. I'm trying to get into his psychology to understand him as an individual. So I was hoping you could expand on that a little bit.
You know, Shane is a politician. He might have to filter his answers some, but I'll let him answer for it.
So, like, I don't know exactly what the context of what I said as far as scary goes, but there are
Pretty sure he's so scary,
aspects
so.
of Tim where, so back, I was the first state legislator back in 2019, I think, maybe 2020, I don't remember, to put forth a resolution to the county to become a Second Amendment sanctuary county. So we get into this like back and forth through the media where he said we don't need a patch quilt of laws and whatever. But then fast forward a few years later, he then started pushing this thing for sanctuary counties for illegal aliens, and like, because he didn't want to do it on a statewide thing necessarily that way. But so he kind of pushed that narrative to embrace the counties that embraced being a sanctuary county for illegal aliens. So you're embracing illegal aliens to have a sanctuary, but not law-abiding gun owners. And this was kind of the narrative that kept going back and forth at the time. And so when I say scary, it's that kind of thing. Plus, we have the stolen valor thing. We have the situation that whatever went on in Nebraska when he was a teacher there, where they had a school board meeting and then it went into a closed session. They came back out, and then all of a sudden, he was asked to resign, and his wife as well, Gwen, to which they did, and then they moved to Minnesota, and then he became a teacher in Mankato, Minnesota, I think it was 10 years. And then that's when he was still in the National Guard at the time. And then he got notification that they were going to that unit was going to be deployed. To which that notification came out way early, and then he decided to resign, even after being given the higher rank, but he had to fulfill certain amounts of duties before he could actually achieve that. But he didn't want to get deployed because he was going to be running for Congress. And then he continued to run around, even though they peeled that higher rank away, Sergeant Major, I believe it is, but so he was knocked back down. But then he continued to use that story all the way through his entire congressional stuff for whatever that was, 12 years plus when he was governor. And if you talk to his fellow guardsmen that served back then with him, they have absolutely no respect for him, based on what he did. And then, you know, he campaigned on being a more moderate Democrat, and everybody thought he'd be better than Governor Dayton, which he turned out to be far worse. And then he pushed a whole bunch of really progressive ideology, and he openly embraced signing it. I mean, heavily. A transgender sanctuary state, so like, and abortion up to the date of birth. I mean, we surpassed Korea on that one, for crying out loud, North Korea. And even there was even advocacy for maybe the day after birth, or maybe two. There was advocacy for that.
The fuck?
And
so Shane,
on the
just hold on for a second. So I have got a soundboard for Christmas, and I'm playing with it and stuff like that. And I had a couple of things. There's the first things I put on my soundboard, and I'm just going to go ahead and run them. That's one that I use quite frequently. And then here's the other one.
Oh, Scuba, they're not coming through.
Oh, no.
No, neither one of them came
hold on. Bummer. Let's see here.
Like, I am genuinely curious.
Did that one work? Nope. Okay, I'll retry again. Keep going through the stuff.
Anyway, you guys can go back to the hands. I hope that all kind of helped. But like this is where Tim has been. He's transitioned. He's a chameleon depending on the office of which it is he's running for. You look at the video of him trying to pheasant hunt. Was it last year? No, it was 2024. He couldn't figure out how to load or unload the gun. And he said, I used this thing for years in trap shooting. It was a Beretta A400. It was flipping brand new. And he had just come back in off of the campaign trail, the national stage, flew into Mankato, didn't have time to go back to the governor's mansion to get his normal gun that he used the year prior, which was a wood stock. This one's a black synthetic stock. And like, he couldn't figure out how to make it operate. This guy never held this gun before, but yeah, he makes up these stories. The guy, like, he just keeps saying things to play cover that are so easily figured out that you're not being honest. So that's where I say he's scary.
That fucking retard Tim Walz, does he need to be in jail?
Oh, did it work?
We got it.
All right. Well, here's the other one too that I play quite frequently. Anyways,
We didn't get the second one. The first one came through.
The second one did not.
Bummer. Well, at least the first one came through, and that was the more important one. So, anyways, yeah, let's keep rolling through hands. Shane, I really appreciate you being here and answering all these questions. This is amazing. So, I thank you so much for that.
For the how many of you, you can just use the 100% sign or whatever. How many of you know Jason for 3 respawns? Okay, couple. So when Governor Wall said, they're walking up and down the sidewalk in front of my house, saying the R word, whatever, or driving by, whatever the hell it was, I literally called Jason. No, but so Jason's favorite comment is, like, you're a retard, or you're an effing retard, right? He says it all the time. And it's like his go-to thing. His parents, especially his mother, like, scolds him all the time for it, but nobody's going to fix Jason at this point if her idea is fixing him. But so she just owns him for who she created. So I called him and I went, dude, he was in that space we were in the other night, and he heard you kept using the term, you're an effing retard. That's where he got this from. He's like, seriously? I'm like, yes. He goes, no, he was not. I'm like, but I had him for a second.
I'm gonna ask you this. I was adopted from 2
Hey,
Minnesota
Bama,
Patriots.
Bama, mute up and put your hand up and we'll get to you. You can't just jump the line. People have been waiting a long, long time. We'll be happy to get to you.
I can understand you, ma'am. I will do that.
God damn
Thank you,
it.
But
sir.
anyway,
Thank you.
I had Jason for a second. Like he actually thought like maybe that was the case. I will be with Jason on Friday. So anyway, get to all your hands.
All right.
Anyways, just real quick before you get to the hands, the second one is it's nothing but Somali pirate fraud. That's what the sound works. Anyways, go ahead.
All right. We have, I think a couple of people dropped their hands on me. We've got Bo, we've got Happy, we've got Observant, and we've got Bama.
So what Observant was talking about, the money that was appropriated was federal money, so it had to come through D.C. Trump's been talking about AOC +3, the four horsemen. And if you look at them and do a bit of research into them, it's AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, and at the time it was Ariana Presley. Michigan, I think Rashida Tlaib is Michigan, which, yeah, there's fraud in Michigan. AOC was New York, and yeah, there's Somali fraud in New York. They're saying the Somali fraud in New York is worse than it is in Minnesota. And Ariana Presley, I think she was New Hampshire, I believe, where she was from. What they were doing was
Texting the girlfriend.
Federal
She's
money
wondering why I'm not here yet.
out to daycares. They're using COVID money passing it out to daycares and passing it out to the patient transports and all this other stuff, which Nick Shirley, the second video that he did, exposed a lot of the patient transport companies, the medical side of it, that they were all fraud. And it was either April or May of this year, Trump pushed out that he wanted to, Pope Bondi, that he wanted the straw donors investigated. And it was a direction to investigate Act Blue. So these people are the Democratic Party. They were pushing this out to Democratic strongholds, and they were allowing this fraud to go on because they were part of the Act Blue community, the Smurf community, as Shane said. But it's coincidental that Cam Higbee, I think Butch Cam Higbee, exposed some of the fraud that was going on in Washington State, and then Nick Shirley exposed some of the fraud that was going on in Minnesota. But that happened right after they left the White House in October when they had a roundtable. I think Trump knew about it. I think he's knew about it since his first term, because he was calling out AOC +3. They were using the Somalis or the migrants to launder their money through fraudulent businesses. Part of it was going back into Act Blue, and the other part of it was going in the Somalis' pockets and the local Democrats, the state Democrats in that state. Does that put it together, Observer?
Yes, sir.
Yes, and I just read a report. I believe it was on Monday. I think it came out of the feds that this Act Blue thing will likely exceed $1 trillion with a T, $1 trillion in fraud.
I want my money back. That's what I have to say. I want my money back.
If only it was that simple.
Wait, the 1 trillion that comes. Well, yeah, it is actually stolen taxpayer money because a lot of that was money that went through USAID, then went to a lot of MPOs. Like Soros has like 200 plus of them, and then that money then came back to be donated, but you could only donate so much to a campaign. So then what they did is they used, which is Amy Klobuchar's caught up in this, and so is John Thune. I believe it's John Thune, Senator Thune, that they then used low propensity donors, and they just put a donation in their name with that dark money. They may have 1,800 donations in a year that they didn't even know they did, and they just keep putting it in there under these different names that they're not even aware of. And it was, I believe, the first person that pointed this out or caught on to it was James O'Keefe. And then a bunch of independent journalists started going around house to house with the list of all the donations from ActBlue, and they found that they went to door and like, did you donate like $61,000 this year to Democratic campaigns for, this many donations, whatever? And like, no, I might have donated $20, whatever. So they just kept doing this, and so it kind of built the case to like look into. But I read something the other day that this could easily, with all that dark money that was coming, circling, doing the circle jerk, could easily exceed $1 trillion. Thus, God bless Elon Musk for leading the whole Doge thing and killing off a tremendous amount of that. Now Trump is killing off, and now we got these stupid federal judges that are saying, because the Trump administration has cut all federal funding to Minnesota for a number of reasons, but now we have these federal judges saying, no, you can't do that. You still have to spend it. You got to send it to them. It's like, since when? Like who are you? There's apparently a new appointed judge that just did another one tonight or yesterday now, but whatever.
I'm tickled to death that they put Tim Burchett in charge of Doge now, and he's even said that maybe because it's a new year, he might can get Elon back. I don't know if Elon's interested or not, but I think Tim Burchett was probably the best choice they could have got, and I can't believe they actually put him in charge of it.
Doggone. I had to say it.
Can I add to what I said?
Go ahead, Bob.
Shane mentioned about John Thune, and I believe Mike Flynn came out about Mike Johnson's name was on that list too, that he'd been taken, that he was just as involved in the Minnesota fraud as anybody else, because they control the House and the Senate.
Well, this is a smurfing thing, which is different than the Minnesota fraud. It's two different things altogether. But the smurfing fraud, because even on Amy Klobuchar is a 10-year, well, it's several years. It's $10 million. I think John Thune is over 10 years, and he's got a couple $1 million in there. But it's literally just using donors that never came back, and you just put dark money in their name and just say that's where it came from. They don't know. As long as you keep it under a certain dollar amount, they don't get notified. And ActBlue has been putting out campaigns for the last two major election cycles of like $8, because nothing shows up to the donor if it's under, well, it depends on the state, but under 20 for sure. So you do these small campaigns and you just keep putting $8. And you could have 100 of these things in a day, but they're only $8 at a time. And you do it by, 1,000 names to a given candidate, whatever, or elected person. And that's what the whole thing is. So when people that don't understand all this, they ask me, what the hell is smurfing? I'm like, that's when you're in the 5th grade and you go use the plastic porta potty and all your buddies thinking they're funny. They run up and tip the son of a bitch over. All that blue water comes out and rushes over you because you just kind of got capped.
God damn.
Because that's what smurfing is.
Well, and they're doing stuff like, they've made some changes to it, haven't they, Shane? Didn't they cut out that you couldn't do prepaid cards for donations any longer?
They may have. I mean, so in the state we have a campaign finance board. Federal has FEC. I don't know what other states call theirs. They're all uniquely called a different acronym or whatever. But the scrutiny is pretty high. But these people have figured out a way around a lot of this. And, you know, like I cannot take a contribution in cash greater than $20 without attaching a name to it. So, could a person walk in with a strap of $1,000 of $20 bills, take the strap off, just dump it in a bucket, and I wouldn't know who the hell it came from? Yeah, I guess that would be a thing. Could happen. It's never happened to me, but and that way you wouldn't know like where the money came from, because anything under $20 or less, you don't have to attach a name to it. So this is what they figured out. Wherever there's limits to what must be reported, they just fall right underneath it, I guess is probably a way to put it. And they figured out how to do this because obviously as things are moving more electronic, they're figuring out how to do all this nonsense.
All right, I lost control of the hand, Scuba. You'll have to forgive me. I know Bo just spoke, and I think it's Observant, Rocco, and then Bo.
I believe you are right, ma'am.
I just wanted to thank you for lending us your voice and allowing us to ask questions and answering them. I appreciate your time, sir.
Well, there's always a silver lining in every little thing, and the only reason I'm up this late this particular day is because I was up till 7 in the morning, and quite frankly, I'm not tired yet. And it was not on the greatest reason, but either way, here.
Oh,
I am.
what reason
There's
is
nothing
that?
I like more than trying to do the best one can to fix the hot mess we're in, and I'm optimistic. I'm along on America, and there's a bit of work to do, and it's going to be big. But when acting U.S. Attorney Joseph Thompson said over 50% of the Somalis that I've investigated in the state of Minnesota are here fraudulently under their however they got here, I'm like, well, some biscuit. If there's 90,000, which they often use that number, well, shit, we can deport 45,000 plus right now. See you, bye. Cut that number down.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Go ahead, Rocco.
Here's a quandary to contemplate on a completely different subject that's exactly the same. Anybody remember hearing that we were going to get a Doge stimulus check? And then that didn't ever really, come to fruition. So we were going to get a tariff stimulus check. And then that so far hasn't really come to fruition. And what if they're just continuing to add up all the money that they're finding, and now they've found all this fraud that's technically our money? What if this money just continues to add up and they just haven't figured the amount as to what the stimulus check is supposed to be, because it's no longer going to be considered a stimulus check. It's going to be considered restitution, brothers and sisters. Contemplation of a quandary. I'll trip off my soapbox.
I will say, I think if there's going to be any kind of reimbursement check that comes along, you'll see that a lot closer to the midterms. That would just be my speculation. If they're going to be cutting some checks, they're going to do it
through important stuff. You rubber band all the way through the important stuff. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, so it's not just me.
I think that might be you, Rocco. No, I heard Mooney just fine. Maybe you need to. I'll take your mic and then bring you back up.
So in that thought process, you're never going to get money back that was stolen. A lot of it's already been well documented. It was flown overseas. It's gone. The tariffs, rebate check that was talked about. Judges have blocked now Trump from being able to do those temporarily, say they're unconstitutional, and as well as everything else he does. So every time he does something, it gets temporarily blocked, and they have to go through court proceedings, and they got to keep moving up to higher courts, and then it has to go to the Supreme Court, usually before there's some stupid decision, which I don't know why we're wasting all our time with all this nonsense. But nevertheless, you're never going to get it back. In my opinion, the best restitution or rebate we could get would be cut our taxes like down to a third or a fourth of what they are now, or we're all simply going to revolt and say, screw that nonsense. I'm going to my employer. I'm putting down, I got 20 flipping dependents. I'm paying nothing in. And when the IRS comes after me and the Department of Revenue for the state, you can kiss my lily white ass on April 15th of next year, because until I get my money back, I'm going to ride free for, I don't know, hell, 5-6 years. And then maybe at that point, shit, I may never go back. What are you going to do to me? Like, you waste all of our money that you steal from us, and you take it without any due cause, and you pass this crap, a lot of it administratively, not even legislatively. And because a lot of these legislative bodies, both all 50 states as well as the federal, they write these damn bills so vague that it's left to the bureaucratic system to interpret them and make out of them what they're going to do and how they're going to determine what the legislative intent was. So screw them and cut all these damn people out of the IRS while we're at it. Because Washington
that's
State,
just it. Is taxation without representation is theft. Is it 100% theft?
yes, and income taxes I think should all be like completely repealed, as well as the 17th Amendment. But I already said that once.
Based.
I want
Well,
U.S.
that's kind
senators
of what we're
appointed
trying
by
to fight here in Washington State. Is we don't have an income tax, but the powers that be want and we don't want. And I can't foresee any Washingtonian, at least an intelligent one, saying, sure, have more of my money, especially in light of all the fraud.
17th Amendment, the Senate of the United States shall be composed of 2 senators from each state.
No, your governor is pushing for this hard, and your Democratic side, which is the majority, is pushing for this. My question would be, how the hell do we make it this far without it? Why do we need it now? What have you done wrong that you need more now? Because we've never needed it up to this point, so there's no reason for it to actually happen going forward, because it's never been needed. So either you're mismanaging the money you're already getting, because you don't need more.
Oh, that's 100% it. The homeless crisis is another issue.
I'm getting tired here.
It's something that they can continue to throw money at, like they're helping the situation, but the problem continues to grow. And so it isn't about the money. You can throw endless amounts of money at it, but if the problem continues to grow, you're not fixing anything. You're just continuing to steal more money from the people of the state.
Yeah, the non-homeless people got to keep paying the state more money for the homeless people. That never gets fixed. It only gets bigger, so we need more money. This is like the old commercial that used to be on TV back in the 80s of the semi-driver. He needed to buy more Coke so he could drive more hours, so he could make more money, so he could buy more Coke, so he could drive more hours, back before all the driving regulations went in. And that was the U.S. Department of Transportation commercial that was being aired back in the 80s heavily. It was either 80s or 90s, whatever it was, but it's the same circle jerk. Like, you're literally, we got to help these people. Give us more money. We're going to take more money. Whether you want to give it or not, we're going to take it because we have the majority, and nothing's going to change. The problem's only going to get worse. We need more money, and then we're going to create another issue somewhere, or another, like kind of like the autistic centers in Minnesota, whatever. But and like all the non-domicile illegal aliens that have gotten illegal driver's license over-the-road drivers, whatever. And
that's a big problem too.
Well, yeah, but now we
Trump's moved.
Yeah, but now we got
on that front.
Well, sure. They sent Minnesota a notice. The federal DOT or the Trump administration sent them one that they have to cancel all these licenses because 33% of the last 5 years of non-domicile illegal alien or non-domicile license were illegal aliens that weren't supposed to get them, and California had 17,000 5 years. That's all we know. It doesn't mean anything. Like what's the actual number? How many illegal aliens that should have been qualified to get a CDL actually got one? We don't know. It's just 33%. So
I has the snuggie.
We went out of the fire, when we went from Inslee to Ferguson. And I can't even wrap my mind around how we even end up with these people in the first damn place, to be honest with you.
Now my
Biden
Delta
started in 91, amped up in 96, and then Obama got in and really amped up again. And so this goes
Why
through
is my
multiple
stream suddenly going to
administrations
shit?
and multiple parties, but that's where this all kind of came from.
Continue through our hands. I want to go to Rocco if you wanted just to touch on what any answer your question, but go ahead if you want to tackle it. You there, Rocco?
I heard that.
You still want to say something?
Absolutely, brother. Once the mind is expanded beyond its original dimensions, it can never go back to what it once was.
Oh
This
god
is
damn it!
your
Now with the
Matrix
QAnon
Red
shit.
Pill moment. Since 2015, this country has been under a military operation, possibly before 2015. This country was under a coup from the Oval Office of the United States of America from behind a resolute desk by President Barack Obama. You don't have to take my word for it. I'm nobody, and I know nothing. I posted in the Little Dirk, the Midnight Rider Johnson video. You can get all the information you need there. Military laws and orders are all listed.
Why are you doing
The websites
this?
are given exactly where to go to find and see and read and understand exactly what's going on. Drug cartels have been declared terrorist organizations. Drug cartels' funding will be seized by the United States government. Do you know how many hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars that will be just in the drug cartels? There will be restitution.
Oh, absolutely.
There will be restitution.
He's looking at the narco terrorists. He's looking at the bids on the snakes and all that realm.
Yeah, well, the room's being dumb. But I think we got all the information we need.
Original conversation, though.
I mean, wow, we've been at this for a while, and at this point, the conversation's just going in circles, and holy shit. I mean, Rocco's doing the whole fucking QAnon thing, and, you know, nice guy, some of the stuff is interesting, but my god. Please don't do that. It's so dumb.
Now you got it. Go ahead, NC.
I'm so glad it wasn't me
Rocco,
again.
you haven't got your check yet? I got both of mine. I got one week, and then 2 weeks later, I got the other one. So maybe they don't have your address right or something.
Yeah, I think I'm done for the night.
And for
Okay, that was a fun stream until the end where certain people started being crazy. Because holy crap, QAnon. I really don't like those people. My camera's messed up. That's screw it, good enough. But I'm ready to hit the hay. It's 3:08. And my God. Oh, that was nice. I'm going to edit that so that I'm just going to have that alone for people to hear. And yeah, I did get permission from Scuba Steve to record the space. But he also said if something happens, told me to cut it. But at the same time, it's like, I'm going to cut this down into a few bits here because I feel like it needs its own video when Mr. Shane shows up. Anyways, have a good one, guys.